and that's all. That's my big thing.
Yeah.
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 Oh, fuck me. Okay.
So,
Uh,
when we last left off, Phaedra ended up giving Will her boots of flying. Uh, you're heading down towards Rutalug, which would only take 3 more days from there. Except you ended up running into a sandstorm on the second day, leaving 2 days left, uh, and you ended up having to camp out for 4 days. Um, when you broke camp and started down the road again, uh, you left behind a really nice shelter, which is now a shrine to Helm, which is kind of cool. Uh, with 1 more day left to go to reach Lodolog, you ended up spotting the entrance to a ancient temple, which seems to have been uncovered during the sandstorm. Being the investigative people that you are, you just decided that this would be a great thing to go investigate. It had a language that your translator couldn't translate because it was basically a dead language that wasn't spoken any. Nobody knew how to translate, so it wasn't in the translation matrix. The spell that was cast into your to not artifact to your medallion. You saw symbols about a broken world, looked like dragon folk, cat people, and some sort of worship. It looked like. You did figure out that the language was linked to Draconic, and Kale remembered that. You know what? This looks a lot like some of the ancient Draconic type similar language that's in the Ice Temple, all the way across the world. Um, you managed to find your way in, disabling the trap that was by unlocking the door properly. That was inside. You discovered carvings on the road. You found one of the world breaking, another that looked remarkably like the Void Stone in a pyramid, a picture of a minor dragon in robes with axes, back to back with a tabaxi, a picture of an elf woman squatting looking for something, a dwarven woman rescuing people, and even an image of a lupine knight. Um, behind the door to the pyramid, you discovered a room with disintegrating books and images carved into the wall of more of that void stone and of what looked like a major battle in that pyramid, between that weird creature that I posted a picture of for you. Someone that looks a lot like Lokar, a minotaur holding the void stone, and another group of people. Uh, Mostly what looked like the same people that were pictured outside, except just a couple more of them. In fact, when I was reviewing some of my older notes, which I finally found after the game, there's actually some more people off to the side that was half covered by dust, so you might not have seen it right away. There was also it looked like another dragon, another elf, somebody that looked like a part snake person, maybe a wanty or something like that. Like they had the lower body of a snake, but they didn't look like too humanoid on top. They looked like there was the guy with the wings. I think I already mentioned them, and uh, yeah, dragon, elf, uh, guy with the body of a thing, another cat person. Uh, yeah. So those look like the good guys versus the bad guys, which Lokar seemed to have been involved in that too. Even though this seems to be a very ancient ruin, like thousands of years old. From what you understand, the Sundering was 6,000 years ago, and the images of the destruction look like it was the start of the Sundering. All right. You also found behind the picture of the elf woman in the first hall, you found some kind of amulet that seems to relate to Earth, the elemental plane of Earth, possibly. And I believe that's where we left off. What would you guys like to do now? Oh, and you also opened up the one behind the dwarf woman and discovered it led into his catacombs, and the bodies in there seem to be moving. It looked like the undead were rising up.
Yeah, it's fine.
I imagine Kale is bored to tears and is going to wander out, back outside, because
Well, since Amulet, as you turn to leave and you maybe grumble or say something under your breath, we might need to go forward. There could be more information further down. I don't know.
Well,
But if you want to wait outside in the sun, feel free.
well, Kale just kind of shrugs and he's like, I guess it is a little cooler in here, but I'm not a historian and none of this really means anything to me.
That's fair. It just
That's
might help
fair.
us in the future.
if we do decide we're gonna go forward, we're more than likely gonna be in a fight.
Ooh, what kind of fight?
Undead. What Vondo was hearing. Or very,
Oh.
very old people.
Just my forte.
Does your arcane eye see anything on the other side of Servando?
Chris, do I see anything else on the other side other
Oh,
than what
I
I've
thought
already
you closed
said?
the door. I'm sorry.
I have. The door is closed. I have an arcane eye in
Oh, that's right. You have an arcane eye in there.
the room.
It looks like they are slowly getting up out of their various alcoves and starting to stand up, like and just kind of wait, seemingly be in a waiting pattern. They're not advancing on your door.
Well, they seem to be waiting.
What kind of undead? Amulet will ask.
Of what Rondell saw, they were skeletons for the most part, although some of them seem to be wrapped in linen, so it's possible there could be a mummy or two among them.
I mean, any chance they're intelligent and not, we probably can't speak their language, but
I mean, they're not exactly moving at the moment.
I guess anything is technically possible. But I have a fear we'll find out as soon as the door opens, if we open it. Because either they will talk or rush us.
Well, from my understanding, radiant energy has a good effect on disposing of undead. Does anybody have that in their arsenal?
Yes.
Technically.
Lots.
Then I say
But
we
mine-
send the goblin in first.
Yes, I can go in first.
shove him in the door and close it behind him. He'll be fine.
My radiance is exactly not friendly toward allies.
Oh. I have a little bit. Phaedra will raise her hand. It's kind of small, but I have a little bit. Oh, wait. Summons the sun sword. I have a lot. Never mind. I forgot.
I have a little bit. Oh wait, hold on.
So did
Never
the
mind.
player. So did the player. I'm a little tired today. Forgot about the sun sword. How about it, Frock? You and me?
Sure. It's a small hallway, though.
Which carving is aiming at checking, by the way, as you guys are talking about this? Because
Well, she was talking with Kale in that room. If Kale
Yeah,
points
the
out a
thundering
carving,
one was up here, I think.
yeah, because she was down here. She'll check up the two that are. She'll
Alright.
do that.
so you're checking the one that's up here. Got it.
Yeah. She'll be up there.
Roll your investigation for this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you find another hidden door.
And I'll go ahead and roll the investigation for the other one, just to get it out of the way.
Which other one? The one across?
One across.
All right.
Okay. Well,
Okay, so the one with the minor dragon and the Tabaxi, you find a small compartment in that one. Kind of like with the one with the elf. Looks like there's something just inside.
Check for traps.
I'm gonna go with the investigation check on both of those.
Okay.
They seem to be echoing, by the way.
Oh,
testing.
sorry.
No, sorry. Anyway, you check for tracks on both of them with those investigation scores and find no traps.
Okay. She'll check the compartment on the left.
Alrighty. It opens up into another small echo. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'll mute.
It opens up into another small room. Let's see, where is it on here? Where I know I wrote a page. Okay, here it is. It appears to be a room with what looks like an old rotted dummy of some kind. Maybe it just did like an armor stand. It has broken pieces of a breastplate still hanging off of it. There are 2 tarnished axes fixed to the wall. There's a helmet and greaves also on the dummy, but they look in terrible condition. However, hanging around the neck of the dummy is an amulet that still looks pretty good. That's right, you don't have the magic eyes, do you? But it's a medallion. It's a medallion that still looks like it's in good condition, which is a good indication of magic, even without magic eyes.
Can she, before touching it, do an Arcana check to see if she can try to notice anything that she's read about or engravings that reflect a type of magic, or looking for anything arcane with it?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looks ancient, really, really old, and the symbols are, different. However, you're staring at it for a moment, you can get this feeling that some of the root symbology might relate to strength. This might be an amulet of strength of some kind.
Yeah, she'll grab it. Found something.
Oh.
Kind of holds it up, dangling from one finger from her gloves. Some sort of strength amulet? Not sure.
That could be interesting. Useful, maybe.
Let's deal with this and then we can look at what we got. Was there anything in over here to the right?
And the other one, and off to the right, in that little alcove, you open it up, and there is what looks like a small bluish sphere inside.
Oh.
Arcana check again. Let's see.
It's not a thing that you recognize as necessarily magical, but at the same time, it looks perfect, and too perfect to be anything but something magical. It's just that it's of no kind of magic or spell that you understand, even with that Arcana check. Oh, no, wait, sorry, Amunet, this is Amunet. What am I saying? Amunet, you don't even need an Arcana check. You look at it, and you realize this sphere, this ball, it brings back a memory from, your time hanging out with the people in the desert. With your friends, when you went onto that desert and wandered around in that one area with those robots, or whatever they were, the Warforged. and there was these spheres that you found. This looks like the same size and shape as those ones.
What were the spheres again? Sorry, I'm tired
I
and my
know, I
memory.
know. It suddenly
Yeah.
occurred to me. It's like, why would it? It's friggin' Amulet. She's seen this before.
Yeah. So what is it? Is it like an energy sphere? Did we
No,
figure
no,
it
no.
out?
That sphere that talked. That one sphere that talked in a weird language. That seemed to relate to the Warforged. That also spoke the weird language.
Oh.
The one that Pink held on to a lot of.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, this should be interesting. And she goes and she picks it up.
In fact, as that's jogging your memory, you suddenly realize, wait. That and you look back at the carving on the front of the Tabaxi and go, oh, that's where I've seen that image before. But this one's flat. When that image projected out of that sphere that you'd found back in the day with Pink, that's what that image looked like. It was that dude talking,
Oh,
dressed the
Jesus.
same.
Well, okay. I might have been in ruins like this before, or seen something similar. Back with my original group. We ended up finding, like, this, arcane, or I don't know, actually, like, do you guys know what Warforged are?
I don't know if Shuri would know the title. And she's seen
Vondel.
constructs, but I don't know if
Yeah.
she would.
Well, and she'd explain it. It's like it's kind of like a construct, but not. It has more like sentience to it, and we found this warforge, and it was like a piece of like a larger army, um, an army of it was. They were basically like soldiers, and we found one, and it was called we named it 83, I think 80 something.
Even I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah,
I think
80
it
something.
changed between like 81 or 83 and 87, something like that. So it got forgotten.
Yeah, but it was like this large amassed army, this ancient army that was created. But yeah. I'm a Does she remember how they activated the orb? Did it just activate, or did we have to do something? I can't remember.
by holding it.
Okay, she picks it up.
All right. It bursts into life, and there seems to be voices speaking out of it. How long are you going to hold on to this for? Just checking.
Until it does damage and she goes ow and drop it.
Okay. It takes 3 minutes before the cycling of languages with you holding it suddenly gets to something that your amulet of tongues or whatever. It's probably amulet of tongues would probably be the best way the translator to call it. Suddenly translates the language. Either it finally came to one that it could understand, or after a while of listening to this, it somehow, picked up on it. And the message is the following. If you understand me, please say, yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
It just kind of flashes for a moment and suddenly projects that same image that you saw now many years ago coming from there. The same image that's currently on the wall nearby of a statuesque feline with a cape and having a weird tube weapon at his side, which Kale would easily recognize as a gun. That he kind of bows slightly. Ah, madame. It has been a long time since I have spoken to anyone.
Pleasure.
I am a recording of Hyperglass Tech Grazar III, the last king of Felth. You can call me Hype or Hype AI if you like.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Anything we should know about further on down here? Do you even know what's going on down here?
The image seems to scan at the area and going, this area was set up first as a defensive measure for the refugees, and then later I believe it was to be the tomb for Alznar, the last prince of Geth. Sorry, the last prince of Meeg is actually what he would say. Geth is the city.
Well, it seems that this tomb has become reanimated, we're predicting, from what we can see down the hall. Is that your doing or somebody else's?
It is not my doing, but Alznar might have left some contingencies behind. Perhaps he reanimated himself, in some sense, or had himself reanimated.
Aminette remembers the... Well, no, that wasn't an activation. Never mind. I was thinking like the glyph on the ground, but that was like a alarm. Didn't really pick up on that kind of magic. Anybody got anything to ask this person? The player is not thinking clearly, and I don't know.
I don't think I do. I don't know.
I
Wouldn't know what to ask it.
yeah, no, sorry, I'm just a little bit lost on where it fit in, but that's just me being lost generally.
Do you remember when we found the Warforge in the
Oh
desert
no,
with Pink?
no,
Oh,
the other
okay.
campaign, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that. I just don't.
I mean, unless
Does it know anything about the Darson?
I was gonna say, unless it knows anything about the person.
Yeah, good point.
Or Galen Cole, or the fact that Lokar is in some of these images.
Yep.
Did you say Lokar out loud?
Yes. I guess I would have
the,
squished
the,
into the
the
hallway.
image suddenly freezes up for a moment and seems to get an angry face. Lokar has found a way out of his stone prison. That is not good at all.
Oh yeah, he's like hanging out with this weird thing that's sucking up knowledge in people's brains or some shit.
Did he open the Chaos Gate?
I don't know.
Frog wouldn't know, but the answer is no, because we have keys to the Chaos Gate, so no one should be able to
Yeah.
open it.
Yeah,
The answer is no, but
if the
I don't
Chaos
have-
Gate is the Gate of Knowledge, which I'm assuming, but
I'm assuming too.
It kind of like stares for a moment. Kale, you get this pulse in your head from the blade that you hold, and it says, "The Chaos Gate is not the Gate of Knowledge. It is what was holding back the Chaos Gods. What me and mine fought against for opening again, over 1,000 years ago. Amulet should know that."
Yeah, Kale would
But
pass
she
on
wouldn't
that.
Not.
Pass that on. He'd be like, "Sword says that they're not the same."
Yeah,
oh,
that had
right.
that's what the evil queen. That's what that one vampire dude was after. He that also the dragon you ended up fighting. They were after the artifacts that would then allow them to open the chaos gates by basically destroying the protectiveness on them.
The seals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Chaos Gate is directly related, out of character. The Chaos Gate is directly related to the creation of the Feywild and all that stuff. And then the Gate of Knowledge is.
Well, yeah, actually, no, sorry. Yes. The gate, the Feywild was created as a defensive mechanism. Basically, when the war before time happened, the Chaos Gate was needed to stop the Unmakers, aka the Chaos Gods, from destroying everything. So they were sealed, and the Feywild pretty much exists because of all of the destruction that happened. There was basically massive, massive. Well, I think of it as black holes, but it's the sphere of annihilation is the more proper term. That destroyed everything around it, and then because there was so much dense energy that it finally expanded into its own plane of existence called the Feywild. So the Feywild is essentially a protective barrier over the Chaos Gate. But there are seals here on Alaris that can open it up or not because of the connection.
How would we know if he has? I guess Amulet would ask.
The world would be ending.
Oh, well, we have a couple different sources trying to do that right now.
Oh.
So I guess it's a possibility.
Then you could probably use all of the help you could get.
I won't say no to help.
Did they have the Void Stone?
No.
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 That is good then. That should be kept away from them at all costs.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they won't be able to find where it's located ever. Amulet grins. Even I have trouble.
Well,
Never mind.
if you've heard of it, that means that it has been found at some point. It must have been picked up from where I left it.
Yes.
Possibly.
Actually, no, you'd say where we left it because this is an AI that was. I'm not sure. No, they would have said where I left it because he's imagining he left it somewhere. And this AI construct was created before that. Sorry.
Isn't that how it works? You pick something up where someone else left something?
Oh, yes, of course.
It mustn't have been hidden well.
Well, I found it hidden in the first place. Well, we found it hidden. And then we hid it somewhere, and then I went and grabbed it. I imagine I put it back there. Or my original self did. I am just an AI.
Right.
Okay.
I am a physical copy of an original person. I am not the same soul.
Do you take necromantic damage?
That is a good question. I am not sure. I am just a sphere of consciousness inside this little ball.
Okay.
Rick, I want you to put this in your bird.
Put this in your bird.
I'm
Yeah, put
sorry.
the ball in your bird. Put the ball in your bird. You will have super homunculus.
Oh my god. No, that's it. There's a thought.
And how does one combine that into?
You're an artificer. Do some tinkering.
You're an artificer, figure it out.
Figure your own shit out.
All right, so that kind of covers question 1. Question 2, know anything about the Tarston?
I have never heard of it. Is it the chaos god that may have escaped?
It doesn't really sound like chaos. It sounds like it's
I mean,
sucking up knowledge.
Describe the chaos god.
It goes through the description, which I posted a picture of the other day, and is on the wall of the records room.
Oh, the weird snake dude?
Thing?
Yep, the weird snake dude with the many eyes and many arms.
No, this is more like crystals and crystal plant things. Yeah.
Hive mind knowledge, stealing.
How interesting.
Death
I have
dragons.
never dealt with something like that.
Good to know.
Have we asked it about Galen Cole yet?
I am unfamiliar with such a name.
You are?
Not
Or
familiar.
unfamiliar?
Unfamiliar.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, you cut out just a hair, so I couldn't tell if it was un or familiar.
Would you happen to know where any of those cool? I don't know. They wouldn't know because they don't know about Darsen. I was gonna ask if she knew or they knew about any of the cool weapons that we might be wanna looking for.
If I have any cool weapons still existing, there might be some in the Felth Desert, assuming you know where that is.
Can you point it out to us on a map if we gave you one?
Amulet, that rings a bell. That what's left of that desert is now known as the what is it called? Hold on, page turning. The desert that you guys were in. Izami? It's near Ithan.
That name sounds familiar.
Ithan is in the middle of it.
Yeah.
The one that surrounds Ithan. Which is to the west of Emlarin.
What kind of weapon is there?
Oh, he produces a picture of it, which looks like a long gun with some more technical specs on it. This shoots energy. He's basically got a laser gun he's offering.
Okay.
That sure looks interesting.
Sure
Um,
it does to you. Looks over his
So we're running down our list of we could ask about Lograth. We could ask about Thorn.
That's a good point. What do you know about Thorn?
That name is not familiar to me.
The Traveler?
No, I have met many travelers, but someone with the title of the Traveler is not familiar.
Do you know about Lograth?
No, that his name is not familiar.
How about tonight at the campfire you tell us all the big things you know, but for now we keep exploring? Can we take you with us?
Oh, yes, of course.
Ball
okay.
of knowledge.
I seriously want to
If
have
Al's-
Rick put it in his bird.
If Al's
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Go into his armor, give him an armor and AI.
If
Do you
Al's
happen to know how
Yes.
to
It
grow
could,
up a dragon?
it could be frickin' Jarvis.
It could be Jarvis.
Yes.
It could be Jarvis. I love it.
Yes.
Well,
If Alzanar has really gone into necromancy, as you may have, it might still be here, then I would be perfect to talk to him and remind him who he is.
Okay, well then we should open that door and see about talking to him. Not
Yeah.
murdering him. He
Amanet's
looks
gonna
pointedly
give
at the goblin.
Yeah.
I will see whether or not he is from this plane, and then I will make a decision.
He is
This
dumbass.
is his world.
We'll see.
He is from the country of Meeg.
Yes, and that's where I'm from. And I'm from this world.
Yeah, but you're
Meeg
also
still
like...
exists. Point of clarification. Meeg is what there used to
It's
be
the
a country
continent,
called
right?
Meeg, and now it's become the name for the entire continent. It used
Well,
to
he's
just
like,
be
it's
the name of
it's
one
a
country.
Would I recognize it as having been that? I mean,
you possibly just because there were some history lessons from Arkenfeld that said that whispered that, considering some of the secrets that you as a royal knew.
yeah, I mean, I if I knew enough about the Sundering, because this is back Sundering era, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure that would have been like
Pre-Sundering,
drilled
yeah.
into my head.
Yeah, that.
He's like, he like, it's not a country anymore. It's what we call the entire continent.
Oh, that is magnificent. I'm sure Alsnar would have loved to have heard that.
Was the original city of Meeg anywhere near where Kale's kingdom was, or is it more central? Because I know I was
Actually,
sort of like northern, right?
Well, the entire world got shaken up. So basically, what you know about the Sundering is that entire continents, whole cities, sections of continents, similarly appeared and disappeared. A lot like the spell plague described in there, except worse. Described in like Faerun, except worse. So entire countries exchanged places on the map. Like how halves of countries, part of one country would end up like in the northern hemisphere, another half of that country be in the southern hemisphere on the other side of the world, that sort of thing. But yes, actually, where you are, Arkenfeld, is probably where the whole kingdom of Meeg used to be.
Oh, interesting. But I'm guessing we got shifted around, but not destroyed because of the bubble.
Correct. And if you're saying this out loud, Hype says, "Oh, perhaps. Oh God, why did I move that page? I had the name right there in front of me. Ah, there it is. Perhaps Darfayer managed to secure something and save the region of Meeg. They got separated. She was Alsnar's wife, but she was not a magic user. She was dealing with a group of gnome magic users last we heard before we got separated."
And
Cal sort of like frowns. He's like, oh, like, I mean, it sounds a little bit similar to what he was taught happened. There were gnomes, but my great grandparents were involved in securing this what turned out to be a chunk of elemental plane of ice.
Perhaps did they have dealings with the dragon folk?
Would he know that?
There were legends about dragon folk, but supposedly they went extinct during the Sundering. Nobody has seen one since for 6,000 years. But your great grandparents, or like great great grandparents, whichever generation it was, might have had dealings and might have written it down. So probably would have, like, at this point it would have been tossed around like legend. And it's also possible that in editing the history that the shady priests might have just edited that information out, that, or perhaps tried to shift it to being white dragon and this is why we have an alliance with them, sort of thing.
Yeah, so it probably got written, like, written out. Cal just sort of frowns and shakes his head. He's like, I don't recall that, but I don't know.
How
There's a
long
lot of
has
things
it been?
I don't know, apparently. What, like 6,000 years? Something?
That is
along
a
those
long
lines?
time. Lots of things get lost and forgotten.
Or purposefully obfuscated.
Oh, yes. Politics, yes?
He's just gonna nod and sigh. So are we going to parlay with the dead?
Do we have to?
That is up to you.
Well, they might have goodies back there. They don't need them anymore, right? We could ask them nicely for them.
Sure.
Could have information as well.
that too.
I'll give them 20 seconds.
How generous of you. Vader smiles.
Now, is there a way to get you from this orb to something else?
Perhaps. We can figure that out.
Well, I mean, it's a gemstone, right? You can.
It's
Sort of.
it's more of an orb. It's kind of like bigger than a softball, sort of thing.
Or you could put it in like the chest cavity.
Smaller than a basketball. Smaller than a basketball. Or
Yeah,
a volleyball.
it's going to be too big for the homunculus because that's a tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's similar in size to the Voidstone.
Fair. Well, maybe time to.
So wait,
upgrade
Will is
her.
carrying around a fucking basketball?
No, it's smaller than a basketball or volleyball, but bigger than a softball.
Still pretty big for a gnome.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, let's deal with this issue. See if we can be diplomatic with the undead. And then, yeah. Get out of these ruins and get on our way.
Agreed.
You want to lead the way, Frock?
Sure. Oop.
She opens the door, runs in.
Vader's right
The
behind.
undead are kind of like looking towards.
Yeah, who has the
you all.
orb? Because that should be.
Vondel.
Okay.
And
Yeah, they
that
should be.
things do you speak?
With empty eye sockets. As soon as Vundel, you are bringing the orb in, yes?
I mean, I guess I can, but
Alright.
I'm behind Phaedra at the moment, so.
As soon as you bring the orb into the area, the image projected of the 7 foot tall cat man kind of like resolves itself into the middle of things and starts barking in an unknown language, which soon seems to become translatable by the tongue by your tongue's spell. Saying, "Please stand down. These are allies." And the undead sort of part ways for the most part. They clear out of this center corridor right here, and are now standing that way, like as if leaving you a path.
Oh, that was more effective than I thought it would be. I feel
But
like
now I
she
definitely
had
need to
her,
get you.
just had her hand on the hilt.
Damn it! Now I definitely need to incorporate this somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Maybe in your
All right.
armor?
You know,
Could be
Somewhere in the
possible.
center?
I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually.
If you have access to the Void Stone, you might be able to use it to transfer me to another receptacle.
Oh, that's
Interesting.
interesting.
very. We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah, that would also
It might
mean us getting-
potentially curse you, but if you can find the Sundering Stone, you might be able to remove the curse with it.
Didn't we find out that Galen has the Sundering Stone?
You found out that the Sundering Stone is at the Nexus.
Right.
I don't think I wrote that down. Writing it down now.
Galen Cole has the Time Crystal.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, I knew that. I guess we're walking down the hallway? Checking it out? Seeing what's in there?
I mean,
Alright.
the zombies seem to be letting us go.
Yeah, might as well check it out.
Yeah, might as well.
These are skeletons, though, right? And possible mummies, no actual zombies?
No, nothing with flesh on it now.
Okay, Phaedra's fine.
And
So
Phaedra
I had to ask.
Phaedra has a problem with zombies. Gotcha.
Well, yeah, that's why I've been rolling wisdom saves this whole campaign, because it ate her party.
I love it.
Yeah, from the big, huge, like, hordes in the jungle, I kind of wrote it in that way. So, because that's part of the module.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's make our way down the hall.
Make your way to the
Making our way. Making our way.
All right. So who is going first, and who's going to be investigating?
Do you want to send Dominette in or Frock, or I don't know, whoever. Vondel,
Whoever goes
since he
first
has
should
the
definitely
thing.
have the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Vondel
Yeah.
with the thing. Yeah.
Sure,
For it.
I can go first. Why not?
Frock.
I feel like Starhole will stand behind him. Just kind of
Okay.
wrong way.
A bit too far, Brock.
There you go.
All right. So this particular hallway is devoid of the undead. There are some symbols back here of crossed axes, and what looks like some archaic magical symbols. The AI imagery appears in front of you and starts pointing at this thing. All you have to do is figure out how to open this up. The
We
main
saw
tube should
we
be
saw
back in there.
axes up here, didn't we?
We did. I was just thinking about that. We did.
Do you not know
Alsnar
how
did
to
enjoy
open it?
axes.
Who?
Alsnar did enjoy his axes.
Ah.
And his spellcasting.
I mean, if somebody mentions it, I'll grab them and pass them down the line to whoever's in front. You know, we can play.
Telephone?
Yeah,
Meredith goes in, grabs the axes, starts passing them over to Kale.
Yeah. Kale will try not to throw them at Amulet. No.
Amunet
Not that I
looks
could
over her
not
shoulder.
that I could hit. Not that I could hit anything. He's just
Amunet
like,
looks over his shoulder.
you know how you're gonna like toss something to somebody and then you think better of it.
Yeah.
He just smiles sheepishly, steps forward, and hands them to her.
Are these like
Yeah.
war axes? Like the one-handed war axes?
I think they were like crossed hatchets, right?
Yeah, they're they're old. They're brittle. They've seen a lot of wear and tear. They're the kinds that a 10-foot tall creature could dual wield.
Oh
so
dear.
They're pretty big for the dwarf. They would be bigger than a dwarf probably.
This is fine. I would love to see Kill try to follow that.
He's just gonna hand him over.
I'm
I'm not even sure he can hold both of them at once.
Yeah, so basically Meredith went and grabbed one, handed one off to Kale, went and grabbed the other one, handed it off to Kale.
Yeah, here, put this on Will. Hand this to Will.
Yeah. Amunet turns to Will. Hey, buddy. You want to give this to Shiori?
Am I giving to Shiori?
This big motherfucker.
This giant axe.
It probably weighs more than Will does.
3 times Will's size.
You intend to break my bones?
No, I just have faith in your strength.
I can just walk literally.
Amunet still hands it to Will.
Will is not even touching it.
Oh!
So you bring them down, and you put them over the carvings, I take it?
Yeah, I think that's the
All right.
plan.
There's a bit of a shuddering noise as the whole thing, including the axes, sink down into the ground, revealing a dark chamber beyond.
Okay.
Ooh, Yahtzee.
Spooky.
All right.
To be fair, that was even heavy for Shiori because she's only got 11 strength.
All right. So, in the inner chamber is a tall figure, hunched slightly, so they're not quite 10 feet tall, but they are covered in rags. Definitely someone who's been mummified, but is now up and moving around. They lift a hand, and the AI again springs to life with an image, saying, if you do not remember, you are Alsnar of Meeg, last prince of the country of Meeg, from the city of Gef. You left home to become a sorcerer. And the hand slowly lowers, and you hear like a raspy sound coming back, being translated through your amulet, going, what would you guys like to do?
What did it say?
It just said the name of the AI, basically.
Oh, okay.
Or the
Okay.
name that of the creator of the AI who imprinted himself on it.
Well, tell it we're gonna, since Lokar is the only one that seemed to ring a bell with the AI, tell it we're looking to kick his butt,
Yeah.
and if he has any juicy tidbits on how to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Lokar has returned. That treacherous coward. We thought he was just crazy. But when we cured him of his insanity, it turns out he was evil.
No, he's still crazy.
A little bit above.
He's still a bit crazy.
This is a pretty big chamber. It looks like at one point it was probably it was possibly used for refugee, like the whole house refugees before it became a tomb. But everything around here has been decayed or has turned to dust. It's like not like a fancy tomb like you would expect, like in ancient Egypt, unsealing a tomb that was sealed for thousands of years without any grave robbers. So there's no like valuables around. Though there is what looks like possibly a golem, or maybe if are you going in there?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Can Vondel tell the AI to let the mummy know that we need? I want everybody in the room. Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention that.
Yeah. If Feminette's going in there, she'd immediately recognize the chassis of an inert warforged sitting in the corner.
I'm just gonna assume I'm moving in there, so I'm just gonna put myself there.
Yeah. Just make it easier. Oh yeah, like one of those. That's what I was talking about earlier. Warforged.
One of my creations is still in here.
Who said
yes,
that?
Vondel? Oh, that was the AI.
Okay.
Would Vondel know what a Warforged is?
I imagine so. I also think that Kale might know as well, simply because he might. It's possible he might have seen one, a single one, in Imlarin, since Imlarin attracts pretty much everything, even if it's like the rare creatures into it.
I just wanted to know.
Is it? He would know that they were kind of alive, though. Is that one dead? Or
it is inert. Perhaps it was never brought to life. It was apparently put here after I was imprinted on this orb.
Ooh. I want to touch it.
Yeah, does Aminet remember how to activate it? Because they activated one of them.
She remembers that Pink touched it and it came to life.
Vondel.
Yeah.
Go touch it.
I'm gonna do that anyway.
Okay. I encourage touching.
Just sort of walks over to the Warforged and starts examining it, touching it, trying to figure out how to make it work.
I mean, the AI should be able to tell us how to get it to work, right?
Yeah, but where's the fun in Oxing?
No, the AI said it was put there after they were put into the globe, I thought.
Yeah, but it said it was
AI
one of its creations.
Oh, that's
the
fair.
AI
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
If I can't figure it out, then I'll ask. But I want to figure it out myself.
Yeah, we could do that as well. That's an idea.
Mummy is just standing there watching all of you. Where is Lokar?
Where's Lokar?
Should have.
Is that what he asked?
Yeah. Sorry, I'll try to speak more clearly. I was trying to get a
Sorry.
raspy sound. He's asking where Lokar is, and then he goes on to say that I should have smashed him when I had the chance, when he was turned to stone.
We believe he's in the city to the south of here that we're heading to. He's apparently in league with some kind of weird hive mind knowledge sucking thing. He's one of the 4, I guess they said.
Yep.
He's always been a follower first he was hers. Doesn't surprise me that he has found another master.
Hers?
Kadarath, the last ruler of Tar.
That name doesn't ring any bells for me.
Actually,
So.
no, it wouldn't have
Isn't
been
that
the last
another
ruler.
one of the 4? I thought.
Kadarath?
No.
No.
No, okay.
She ruled the country of Tar and secretly ruled the game as well. She betrayed us all, pretending to be our friend, while secretly leading us on, helping us to find the Void Stone so she could use it to summon chaos.
You said you managed to imprison him before. What did you do? Did you petrify him?
Yes, we turned him to stone and we thought it was done. But apparently...
Can anybody? Can any of you do that?
Looks at Will. Do you have that in your arsenal?
Turning people to stone?
I mean, if
How
it worked
quick?
once, although he might have protected himself against that at this point,
I imagine he's more powerful now, too.
especially with all that Tarston juice in him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any tips to beat him up?
He is...
Like, I don't know, go for the knees or something?
Bite his kneecaps.
He is a coward at heart. When danger happens, he will try to flee or hide himself away from it. He will do anything he can to avoid being destroyed.
Well,
Okay.
we kind of figured that out to some degree. The first incarnation of him we met was a simulacrum.
What are the chances the next time we go up against him we'll be dealing with the same? I'm curious.
Probably.
I mean, if we are, it's not a problem. We'll smash
No.
it in like 5 seconds, but...
That's what I'm thinking. Should we target him first? Amulet will say to Frog.
I think so. Just beat him up. Bonk.
No talkies, just kill.
I mean, I'm done with diplomacy. She'll turn
Yeah,
to
there's nothing.
kill!
Yeah, there's nothing really need from him, right? We got the ring. We're just doing this because of the Tarston.
Yeah. And honestly, if... I can also, if there was any lingering information that we might want to try to get from him, I can always just take a piece of his soul and ask him. But we have to kill him first.
You know, I feel like this would be easier said than done.
Agreed. I'm just saying. Long-term
Oh,
goal.
Will wants to put flesh to stone in the Void Stone? Sure.
I mean,
Greater Restoration right now is probably for the best, but whenever we get to that point, yeah, if you wanna.
I mean, considering we haven't established how long it takes to put a spell into the stone, usually it just seems to take the same amount of time as the spell.
Yeah.
This is just an action, so if I take one turn to put the spell into the stone and then hit him with the
But
stone...
if you fail, are you going to turn to stone?
It's
No, I'm not
possible.
saying that in character.
Yeah, I'm just saying...
Do we have a way to get him out of that if we get him in there? If that happens?
Possibly
think-
the Sunderstone, which, it might be the only thing that can undo a curse from the Void Stone.
Which we don't have, correct?
No, you don't. You vaguely heard of it. If you have heard of it, it's because it's in the Nexus. I believe Lograth was recommending 2 courses of action. One was to gather the artifacts, the other was to gather the swords, or of course the third one was to go gather Chaosium and let him build more swords for all of you. But you went with let's go find the swords that already exist.
Yeah.
maybe it's quicker to just do it the other way. Just saying. Also, then we don't have to deal with annoying owners. I look right at a specific person here.
Rude. Oh, you didn't talk about me.
Wait, do you also have a sword?
No.
Okay. You have the ring.
He had a sword. He had that weird, death sword. But he doesn't have eight you know.
Yeah,
Will's
so
got
it's
2
the
rings, doesn't he?
it's well no, I gave one to Shiori.
That's right.
Yeah, the Iron
It's
Roses have 3 rings between them all.
it's
And
the
Daily
rings,
Cole
the
has 3.
artifacts, the swords. Was there something else?
I think that's it. That's enough.
The rings that don't do anything on their own, the artifacts that are spread across the universes, and the swords that are spread across the universes.
Well, the artifacts actually are mostly around Alaris, but one of them is on the Nexus.
Hmm. Fader will look at the mummy. It is our goal to stop this Tarstan and in turn stop this Lokar. Is there anything that you can aid us with? Information or
If you're
tools?
going after Lokar, let me come with. It's probably the reason why I'm still here. Unfinished business.
Oh.
Are you in condition to travel?
Listen, the winds up there pick up quite well. You're just gonna turn into a dust cloud when you exit this place.
I am an aeromancer by trade. That was my first good spell school.
Yada 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 yada
I
yada.
can
Have you
deal
looked
with
at
the
your condition?
winds.
Have you looked at your condition?
I kinda,
Listen up, you
looks
crusty, dusty
down.
dinosaur.
Look, the world
Your
has
skin condition's
changed.
bad.
There are a lot more paladins. If they sneeze wrong, you die. I don't know.
I can become a entire whirlwind of sand if I need to, and I can immune to damage like that. Will be okay.
Phaedra looks
To,
over
to
at Will.
demonstrate, the mummy lord turns into a cloud of sand and just sort of whirls around the room. So,
Mm.
and
I
then
wish I
Phaedra-
still
Sandman
had that
style, and
broom.
then comes back. I will
Phaedra
be
looks
fine.
over at Will and then looks back at the mummy. If it's your, I guess, undying wish to do so, we should honor it.
Yes.
Should we?
Another place Varian would have loved. Yes.
I don't know how I feel about walking around with a no offense dead person.
I understand. I did not set off to be a dead person, but it was felt that I needed to stay and defend what was left. And it was a vow I took, and now I understand. I am still here because Lokar is not dead yet.
Imagine that we just found this specific tomb just randomly along the way.
Perhaps the gods have led us on.
Ah, fuck him.
I was never big on gods when I was alive, but I know some that were.
Well, I mean,
Just sort of shrugs. I have no problem with it. I mean, I do come from a city where there's quite a bit of undead, so they don't bother me. Be more concerned about him disintegrating on the way, but you know, he thinks he's good up for it.
Aminette will, yeah.
Oh, great mummy person, I have a question.
Which one are you saying? Are you talking to the mummy or the AI?
I said, oh, great mummy person.
Sorry, I didn't hear that part. Go ahead.
Do you have any items that would help us in vanquishing this person?
Vanquishing
'Cause
Lokar. Well,
like, this is like a tomb, so I'm
my
probably
armory should contain my amulet, my medallion of strength. If anyone needs a strength boost, is good at wielding weapons against him.
Oh, you mean this? Almanac pulls it
I
out.
think we have a bunch of those.
And I know Liana stashed her necklace in the tomb too, which should help against anything that is earth plane related.
This was the guy that had the gun in the picture, right?
No,
Oh,
that
that's
would
in-
be the AI.
Okay. And the AI already told us that the gun is like somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How strong does this make you? Almanac will ask.
He kind of like makes some vague descriptions that are like don't translate well into actual speech, but the gist of it is, it basically will allow you to boost your strength up to 20. Like, it won't break the 20 cap, but it'll boost it to 20.
I need one that does me agility so I can like stab things. Although I guess my sword is finesse.
Can anybody use strength here?
Oh, if only
I do
didn't
have
spend-
a -2 to my strength, but I don't know if it would really benefit me all that much.
I spent all my money 2 sessions ago getting an item to get me to 20.
I thought you got the Iron Stone of Strength to get you to 20.
Yeah, but now, yes, I did.
That didn't cost any money. That was in the bag of holding. What are you talking about?
Oh, true.
Where the fuck did you do with your money? What happened there?
Yeah, what'd you do?
My
Spend it on
lord, who the
hookers?
fuck did you pay?
Jeez. Frog went
Oh,
on a bender.
no.
Hookers, yeah.
I still have a lot of money. Sorry. Understood.
Frog spend it all on hookers and blow, I see.
Secret shame.
Don't tell that to people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Fader's at 22, Frog's at 20. I guess Almanac does not use any strength.
I mean, I have a -2. I could switch the Sunblade that I have to use strength. But I wouldn't want to take it from anybody who would benefit from that actually uses strength and would use it more often.
I don't think any of us in this party really use strength currently.
I mean,
Vondel-
I sometimes, but I've already got 20.
I'd have to figure out which item I would drop attunement wise, because I have 3 attunement items. I have the blade, I have the ring of spell storing, and the wand of the war mage.
I could give it to Sylvie, maybe.
Interesting.
Oh,
I mean-
Sylvie already has 19, so it seems like a bit of a waste.
I mean, in all honesty, getting Kale out of the negative would be,
Yeah,
nice,
I think it's
but,
good just for saves.
But, I mean, your items are sound, so...
Yeah, I mean, I would probably drop the ring of spell storing and just like hand it off to somebody. I pretty much never use it. I have a fly spell in there. I just had it originally because I only had 3 spell slots, but I have 4 now, so I'm like,
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
with the
I
ring
have
of
an
spell
open
storing.
Yeah, give it to Vondel if you have an open slot. I was gonna offer Amulet,
I
but
have
better in Vondel.
I have tons of open slots.
Oh, that's right, you're an artificer.
I'm an artificer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give it to
yeah.
Vondel.
That's fair.
Yeah, give it to Vondel.
Yeah, it currently has fly in it, but you can switch it out.
Sure, you would also pull out the amulet. And do you know what this does then? Is it protection? The Earth Elemental plane magic or something like that?
The medallion that Ileana wore. We found it long ago. It has properties that make it protective when it comes to earth spells, things dealing with the earth elemental plane especially. Gist of it is that it'll protect against the earth type of spell, like the spells that cause like earth plates to like rise up and smash you. It'll also help against sandstorms. And it will give specific protection against like if you happen to tangle with a djinn from the earth elemental plane. It'll deal with that.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Basically, it gives you resistance to those things.
Well, that wouldn't be bad for someone to have either. Hmm.
I mean, it's not super beneficial for Phaedra's Full. It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it would be. Ominent has an open slot, but honestly, Vondel has a fuck ton more than she does, so I'd say give it to Vondel. That's my opinion.
Well, do you have any spells to put in it, Amulet? Or because I think
What?
you have to be a. Oh, or I'm sorry, you're not talking about the ring anymore.
No.
Oh,
The ring
the
we
element.
gave to. Yeah,
Okay.
the medallion, amulet, whatever
Okay.
thing. Yeah, no. I'd say give it to Vondel. I think everybody else is full. Will you full? I feel
Yep.
like you are. Yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
the stock
full
amulet of
of
strength?
myself.
Is Amunet full?
It could.
No,
It,
she's
it'll
not.
it'll count as that. Yes.
But
It
I
was
would like
a
to.
homebrew item 20 plus years ago, but in D&D terms, yes, it would be the stock amulet of strength.
I mean, Aminet Aminet. Fucking hell, my god, I'm tired.
I don't have an amulet of strength in here. In my a
She
belt
has a
of giant
slot,
strength and a
but
potion of giant strength.
I mean, she's kind of like a glass cannon. I mean, it's possible if something else comes up that would be beneficial to her, she will easily swap that out.
Yeah, so she can have it for now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want to get greedy because I just got the luck stone from Vrock. That's why.
It's fine.
Okay. What is this thing?
You- Amulet of the protection from the Earth. Element of planet Earth, I guess.
Is it in the thing?
No, it's not. That's why I was describing what it
Oh.
does. It gives you it basically it gives you resistance against anything that could be construed as an earth attack, which also includes things like sandstorms because the winds might be bad, but the actual damage from the sandstorm is going to be the sand abrading you. So in this case, it would be cut down by half, along with things like earth and mud spell. Like the one spell that
Bones
that
of the earth.
yeah, that Will is fond of. That would cut down that damage by half. Mud spells, things like that.
Okay. Yeah. She'll put that in on her last slot.
A surprising amount of Earth spells.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see if he has any of the other things.
Okay.
The only thing he had was that one, but let me see. What did the other ones have? Trying to see if there's any other useful magic items that could be found in this tomb that he would then remember. But she had these. So
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Oh, good. I'm not muted. He thinks for a moment, and walks past you. Oh, testing.
Yep,
Yep.
we hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was hearing echoes. Walks past you to go find something that he just remembered about. Who still has like an attunement slot open at the moment.
I mean, technically, Amulet has not attuned to the amulet yet, but she slotted to. But yeah, just depends.
Does anyone have one?
I have tons.
Yeah, he
Okay.
is stuns.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll let you be the one to roll a 1d3.
Like, I haven't even reached the
Okay, this one could be
standard
useful.
limit yet.
Then why'd you give the thing the amulet?
Eh.
Meh.
Fucker.
He goes out into the corridor and starts looking up and down. Goes over to the images over here. Taps the one of the knight. Starts fiddling around and opens the slot. Inside are several tablets with some writing on them. And what appears to be a black amulet. He kind of gestures to it. This
That's
might
pretty
come in useful. I don't know how much. It depends on what you're fighting.
What is it? Out of curiosity.
It is an amulet that protects people from the undead.
We should give that to
God.
Varen. No, just kidding.
Will
I
just
think give
wants
it-
to put it on the mummy.
Here for
Watch
touching
me
yourself.
implode.
Mm. Oh shit.
There's also some tablets in there if anyone cares to read them, or we can just hand out the loot.
We could try to read them, but I don't know if anybody can read the language, or we could
Yeah,
get
we can
the
try.
AI. And is Vondel going to screw around with this thing?
Yes.
Like, are we going to take a short rest here? We can all attune, and Vondel can screw with the golem
Okay.
or Warforged. Because then that way we can all get attuned to our new stuff, and Vondel can maybe make a friend. Literally.
Friend.
All right.
Yeah, do you want undead or earth, Vondel? I'll leave it up to
And how's Urk looking for items? Like, what does he have?
When it comes to protection from the undead, that of course translates into, because that's from my old notes from back in the day. That would translate into protection from necrotic damage.
I'll take
you.
the.
Vondel, take that. Amulet's already
I'll
got that.
take it.
So that would make you resistant to necrotic damage.
Ew.
Yeah, they were useful amulets, but I had different like stats, like so I wrote it down as like undead protection and wind and earth and water and poison and all that sort of protection. There was a bunch of medallions and amulets that all had different colors meaning different things.
Yeah, I was thinking like thematically that would like go with like Amulet and like her whole queer link and everything, but
Yeah.
she already has the necrotic stuff.
Yeah.
Yay, I've reached the standard max.
Nah.
I have 2 more slots left.
Jesus.
Hey, should we throw magic items at Vondel to see what sticks?
Roll for magic items to see what sticks.
Was he just gonna start rolling everything up and gathering everything else in a ball?
Goodness. I mean, I have technically 2 items I don't use, but I don't think I should give them. One has very sentimental value.
I
The
feel
other
like
one
we
I
have...
don't think is on her. In my opinion.
since we're like kind of shuffling around items and stuff before this, like we still have like some other stuff if people want. Fader will just like start just listing stuff out of the bag of holding. We have the Amulet of Health, bring your con up to 19. The Propeller Helm, that'll make you levitate. Amulet of Proof of Detection and Location. And then the Manual of Clear Thought +2 to Intelligence. If anybody wants them.
I mean, Vondel might want to read the manual, but I think we're keeping that for Viren.
It has not been disclosed for anybody, so I mean, it's. I keep bringing it up because it's a legendary item.
Yeah, that's fair.
Excuse me.
What's a legendary item?
Manual of Clear Thought. +2 to Intelligence.
Intelligence is overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want, I can read it. That seems a bit of a waste.
I think
Most,
Frog might need it.
Most certainly be a waste.
Nah,
Hey.
they'll be able to figure out things more, like what not to do.
No, that's wisdom.
I
No,
don't know if wisdom really works though, because don't kick indoors don't seem to be a bad plan.
Hmm.
Well,
To be fair, it'll be more of Frog knows what not to do, but doesn't have the wisdom to not do it.
yeah, I know this is a bad idea. I'm still gonna do it.
Just try and
And
stop
Will's,
me.
and Will's just Will.
I mean, nobody has to take it now. I keep wanting to put that on everybody's radar. That's all.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have the cloak displacement, the spellguard shield, and still have an item stone of absorption. Once the item stone of absorption's gone, I've got an empty slot. But for now, I still have that. If it ever goes away. I think it has. Yeah, 16 more charges left on it. She just hasn't really been targeted by spells that target only her.
Yeah, AoEs.
Things haven't found her a problem enough, apparently.
They should.
Don't worry. I'll fix that.
Yeah, don't ignore the elf. Elves are dangerous.
I'm contemplating. Oh fuck! I don't know. I'm contemplating the Luckstone for that Amulet of Health for Aminet. Her Constitution's only a 14.
Yeah, I was contemplating the hell one too, but I'm like, that'll only give me one more point in my Constitution modifier.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do short rest.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep it. All right. Vondel, you making a friend?
Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah, that's up to Grizz, I guess.
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing to make yourself a friend? Let's go with
Well,
that.
I've been messing around with the Warforged. I said that the second we entered, and you mentioned it.
Yes. So, um, Let's see, Arcana or Tinkering check.
Tinkering check.
Mm-hmm.
Like an int with your
Well-
toolkit, your tinkerer's tools. I think that's what she makes me do when I have
Yes.
to roll it. Which you should be proficient in, so int plus proficiency.
Hold on. I also get something else from it. Just I need to
Shouldn't you have
find-
expertise in Tinker's tools? Don't you get that as a
I believe
officer?
so. I just don't know where I would find.
I think it's under one of your features. Can't
At
remember what
least
it's
it plus
called. He's
12,
got, like,
so
level like 6 or 7.
and he's level 17.
Yeah, I'm not high enough to have it yet on my artificer, because I did partial bard.
So
Bartificer.
tools, intelligence, right?
And proficiency or expertise, whatever you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can click on the tool and pick
Oh.
your who died.
Who did we lose?
Shuttle.
Oh no. I think. How's that, Grizz? Is that a good
Ooh.
number?
Yeah. You start messing around with it, discover there's no real activation, but as you open up panels, check it out, you do find a slot in its back where you could potentially put that orb.
All right, Shuttle.
You could also
Yeah, I was
potentially...
trying to get rid of the echo, so
Okay.
I was unplugging
cool.
and replugging.
Yeah, I'm not
I
hearing
don't know
echo now. Testing. We're good.
Yay.
Alright.
Or you could fold down your little owl homunculus and possibly stuff that in that cavity.
I would put the orb in there.
Owl-powered
Oh.
Warforged.
An owl in a warforged neck?
Whoo, motherfucker!
That's a
So-
big upgrade. Now I know what to do with Walter.
People watch. Everyone who sees Bundle messing around with it, they just see Bundle look at the orb to the homunculus. Orb, homunculus, just. I mean,
Who do you want to do that though? We already have one person tagging along that we can't control.
and that.
But
I mean,
Artificer!
orb. I
Having an
wouldn't have,
AI with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
but I could possibly get the AI onto my suit.
I mean, you could
Onto
always
my
swap them out,
armor.
right, Grizz? Would you be able to hot swap them?
Give me an Arcana check. Whoever's looking over
Iron
the
Man
Warforged
or
to see if
Iron
that would
Giant?
happen.
Iron Man or Iron Giant? you gotta decide.
Fuck.
I know what I'm partial for, but whatever. I kind of want to see Bondle be Iron Man because I think it'd be funny.
Yeah, just
So-
having the
So
orb.
who's giving me the Arcana check to see if
I mean, it's Vondel.
Yeah.
I'd call him.
Bondle.
Alright.
You are not
Wah-wah.
certain.
I mean, I have proficiency in Arcana, but I don't know if I would.
I mean, like, I want the orb to be part of my equipped suit.
Then cram your bird in there. Hot.
I'm just picturing now this owl sitting in the back of the Warforged, pedaling with these tiny little pedals. Oh, shit.
Now I have
Alright.
an image of Will pedaling the Warforged as well.
Could we put Will in there instead? Could we?
Oh,
Would Will fit in there?
No, it's too big for Will, sadly.
Buddy,
Will and
You have a
Frock are a
job to
bit too big.
in you go.
I don't feel like Will would really be happy in a metal environment.
No. He could heat himself.
You fold up the owl just so, put it into the compartment, close the door, and hold your hand on it. As Amulet probably mentioned, about the whole pink situation.
Yeah.
There is a flash of light, and you can feel warmth under your palm as a symbol lights up on the back, and lights just come to be among the Warforged as it comes to life. You now have somehow made yourself a very advanced version of a homunculus that's also a Warforged that might someday become its own person.
That's true. It's fine.
It'll be fine.
It still thinks it's an owl, though, because you just crammed the
The head
like,
turns around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
does the head
turns.
do a spin?
It is nearly 7 feet. It is 7 feet. Sorry, it would be about
Oh.
7 feet tall because they're kind of modeled after Hype, and Hype was 7 feet tall.
Please don't let it try to sit on anybody's head.
It's
That
like
is-
staring down at Vondel with confusion because it thinks it doesn't understand why you've gotten smaller all of a sudden.
That is unsettling.
I've given you a new body. Well, a exo body, technically speaking. Exosuit.
It flutters its arms as if it was fluttering wings.
No. No. You can't fly anymore. I would have to take you out for you to be able to fly.
It seems to make noises, and it's trying to flap its arms again more frantically now.
You'll get used to
I
it.
think you broke your bird.
Phaedra leans over to Shiori. What the fuck?
That is question of the last few weeks. That's the question ever since the dungeon. Just, what the?
Don't worry, you'll learn how to control your new body soon. Just pats it.
You should walk across the room and do like the baby walk to me thing where you like pat your. Come on, you can do it.
Must be interesting. Alrighty.
Alright, I've given you a new companion sheet.
Alforged.
Yep.
Forged.
No, it's not a Warforged, it's an Alforged.
Ooh. It's a what? Owl forged?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's a who. For a hootenanny.
Beautiful.
All right, Alsnar. You ready to hit the road?
Yes. I think that is all I have to help you, other than myself.
Why do I feel that Kale would lift his shirt and point at his six pack? He's like, check this out.
Meredith tries to reach over and touch.
He like slap her hand away.
You're
So,
lifting up your shirt. You're inviting touching. She grumbles.
He's like, did you just like say that I deserve it because of how I dress?
I mean, consent
You're
is a thing.
pointing at
Almanet will
your-
say.
Pointing at your chest. I thought you were consenting to being touched.
His size, like.
so what stats does my new owl have?
Well, it has
Any-
more HP. It doesn't have a lot of general, skills because it's still.
Yeah.
It's sort of your it's your homunculus, but with more HP and more strength. It basically stats of a warforged, but with the other potential mental skills of your homunculus. And yes, if you can you might be able to upgrade it to have eye lasers. like Walter. Walter's awesome. Ooh, there's a thought. Finding Walter a bigger body.
Well, that's what I said. I got to find Walter an upgraded chassis.
Mm-hmm.
The battery sort of helped, but now it needs
Yep.
an upgraded chassis.
And maybe another battery.
I want to be able to ride him like a Master Blaster thing.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I need a giant Minotaur exoskeleton for him. I can name it Huskath 2.0. Anyway.
Poor baby.
And he needs a jetpack, but that's
Well, yeah. Well, at the moment, Walter can fly, so.
Yeah. I mean, he's got
Yeah,
little
but-
dragonfly wing.
Yeah. So, everyone is leaving the
Yeah, we're
tomb.
heading out
Yeah.
of the tomb. And is it break time? Since we're
Yes, let us take a break.
Okie doke, BRB.
Bieber.
You feeling okay, Tobias, by the way?
Yeah.
Not really, but
too much
Do you need to lie
Kenshin.
down?
nah, I'm fine. I can concentrate on being part of it.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
E.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, let me know if there's if anything's more wrong than currently wrong. All right, be right back. Back.
I'll come back.
I'm glad that my plans from that I put in place years and years ago for how I wanted to do this sort of game are still coming into or still like bearing fruit. Whereas my comment on making a game was I don't want to necessarily make huge vast dungeons in advance. I want to know the history of the areas so that if I roll something at random, I go, oh, that's where that is over there, and then I can plop the dungeon down in there when people actually encounter it instead of like plopping it down and going, I hope they go there because I want to see this dungeon. So I've had all of this backstory and setup and history and stuff in this and such. So that when I rolled something at random, it's like I thought about it and go, what makes most sense for this area? And I suddenly realized, oh, that's what's going on here. Yay, that's perfect.
Mm.
Welcome back.
I got some orange vanilla spearmint tea when I was out yesterday, so.
That actually sounds nice. Not usually a big tea drinker, but that actually sounds nice.
I don't usually go for the super flavored teas, but that one sounded kind of good. And all the other teas they had there were like gingerbread and stuff like that. I'm not a big, like, I like the more herbal teas, but I like orange and vanilla, so.
So who's still at? Anyone?
I haven't seen anything from Shuttle yet.
Yeah, Shuttle.
Oh, there's they're not shuttle. Okay.
I think, and oh, has Fluffy said he's back?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Fury.
Oh, I see. And blind.
Welcome back, Phaedra.
Yay! Welcome back. We missing anyone
Welcome back.
else?
I'm pretty sure
I
everyone's
think
back.
we have everyone.
think so too.
Yum foods. Alrighty. You guys leave the temple behind and continue down the road. All set to arrive at the city sometime tomorrow. You see that your new companion, the mummy, seems to be. I imagine one of you probably maybe in the back of holding has some extra fabric, maybe some cloaks.
Probably, I would imagine.
I mean, I'm sure we have some crap in the bag of holding.
Gail has 6 bolts of silk. Is he willing to part with some of that?
No,
Let me
not
check
for
the-
mummy.
Not for the mummy.
Let me see what
That's
we
my
got in the back.
that's next year's summer wardrobe. Are you guys kidding?
If only Clay was here, he would have had enough fabric.
But you don't understand that gives Kale something to look forward to. Otherwise, he's going to get too depressed and just die.
Yeah, but it's gonna be old by the time it gets to that season, so you might as well get new ones, right?
No, he hasn't had it. He hasn't had it fashioned yet. It's
Yeah,
just
but
fabric.
the fabric is a year old though.
He's the
That fabric is pretty old as it is.
He's the trendsetter, though. So
He'll find a way.
Surprisingly, we don't.
Right.
I mean, I have some red dragon hide that's been cured from the grinning basilisk, but it's not a
That
cloak.
sadly won't help.
Nope. We have a propeller helm if he wants a fancy hat.
Oh lord.
I mean, if I'm forced to, Kale's gonna pull out have I guess Paige is still carrying them because they're kind of heavy. He'd pull them out and he'd agonize over which one to let the mummy have.
Which one?
He's looking at them and holding them up. He's like, this one complements my eyes, and this one.
Let me see if he has the ability to change his appearance at all.
Are they all the same color and pattern, or are they different
That was up to you. Did you want to buy? Did you at the time buy something that was all the same color and pattern?
Oh no, these
No, we
came
found
out
them.
of these were on the elven Illithid ship.
Oh, then yeah, they probably are, since they would have just been cargo.
Let's see.
So random or all the same?
All the same.
All right,
Sorry.
fine. Then that makes it easier. He just hands over a bolt
Alright.
if he needs it. If he needs to.
So as they walk, this 10-foot tall mummy manages to fashion himself a cloak that could at least partially disguise himself. He is still freakishly tall, compared to a lot of things around here, but maybe.
Well, can I use my disguise kit on him too to help?
What do you want to try to disguise him as?
Well, what is he now? He's a giant tabaxi?
No, he is a giant. He's a small dragon, basically. But a dragon shaped more like a person than it, but 2-legged dragon, but about 10 feet tall, but mummy. His wings are so ragged that pretty much the bones are easy to strap down onto his back.
I kind of thinking like a Tuscan Raider type outfit for him.
Yeah, that's what I was
we're in the
thinking, too.
desert. But with the silk, what do you want on the disguise kit? An int?
Enter charisma.
We'll go with charisma because, I mean,
Because you can be very stylish.
I just imagine Kale going like, "You look fabulous, darling, fabulous," with the charisma.
like, I think he might be better dressed than I am. This isn't fair. Caleb basically is still wearing like his Arkenfeld regalia, but it's seen better days.
Yeah.
Oh,
And as we're walking, Wandle's gonna ease his bird into his new exosuit.
I mean, well, actually, I could. Can I true polymorph this dude back into like a living facil of himself?
Yes, though those don't exist anymore either.
Or like more like a dragonborn? Like give him like
You
a.
might be able to do that. True polymorph can change size, so yes.
Actually, I think he might have to be the same size. He would just be a really tall dragonborn.
Well, true polymorph is you can change into other creatures. You can just polymorph him into a dragonborn.
Let's see. What's his CR rating? Well,
His CR rating is 15.
so I mean, he could be a level. I could turn him into a level 15 dragonborn. I guess. If he's willing to
As long
do
as
that,
creature
and that
size is
might
no
be
larger
and
than the object. It's oh, object. Okay, the target's
he's
appeared-
he's a creature into a creature. So
Oh yeah.
his challenge rating has to be equal or less. And as long as nobody dispels magic on him, he'll stay that way.
Yeah. I'm just looking at that and going, you turn objects into creatures and creatures into
Yes.
objects? I didn't
Yes.
realize that part about poly.
You remember I wanted to turn myself into a book to fuck with Viren, but then I was afraid I wouldn't be able to turn back because I'd be a book.
He would just read you.
Yeah, that'd be creepy.
After that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll blow my true polymorph to make him turn him into some kind of like, what color do you want to be? Do you have a preference in color? That way you don't have to waste my silk. I might have to still give him clothes, I guess, but however you want to roll that.
Amulet has winter clothes.
I don't know about winter clothes in the desert though.
He dead. He don't care.
It's dead, you don't
But if
care.
I mean, if I polymorph him, does he just look like a dragonborn, or does he become a dragonborn and be alive again?
Technically, I think he
How
has
does
the
that
stats of that, so technically he would at least seemingly be alive.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Let's turn him into a dragonborn. We can still dress him in the silk, and then that way, at least he's not super, you know. But like I said, does he have a preference in color?
He says, in life I was black and red. I do not know what colors dragonborn come in.
I mean, they tend to stick to like, breath weapon-wise, they tend to stick to it, but I think they can be any color.
All of my people could breathe fire.
Alright, then red it is. And he would try to, like, do a red and black, because I think dragonborn don't always stay the color that their light is, but yeah. So, true polymorph. Poof. You are now a thing.
Thank you, he says in a more easily to recognize voice.
I mean, as long as I don't lose concentration for the next hour, you'll be that way until someone dispels it. And I'm assuming that means I can't cast it for another day, but I'm assuming that once it's quote unquote permanent, I can cast it again without it taking it away.
You can cast it again. You can cast other spells. All of that goodness.
Okay. All right. So that should be good then. I hope the silk complements his skills.
He looks pretty.
Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
I mean, we still have another, like, long rest before we hit the city, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'll get it back before we hit the city and possibly need it for, more shenanigans.
Yeah. So who's going to be on night watch?
Both of my characters can take a shift.
Sure, we can take a shift too at some point.
Bundle can take a shift.
I'll take the 4th shift.
Alcino's currently sampling food.
No,
because
I'll take
he
the
hasn't been able
same.
to eat in a long time being undead.
I mean, I'll pull out the alchemy flask and offer him a drink.
He very much accepts.
Picture up some ice wine or something.
I think sure will take the first watch since she has not used anything.
Yeah, Phaedra can take first. She'll hang out with the wifey. They haven't had alone time for a while.
Aww.
Nothing like a long time in the desert where we're thinking we might be getting jumped at any point.
Yep. Sounds romantic as fuck.
Alright, make your perception checks.
Yeah. Trying to get the character sheet to be cooperative.
Well, if you get, I was gonna say you get advantage, don't you? If you're helping each other, or are you just perceiving separately?
She already gets advantage, so.
Yeah, fancy shield.
We're apparently both observant as fuck.
Yep, you're good. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. Oh, all seems quiet this evening.
Perfect.
Alright, the next day, your group heads out again into the brand new day with new companions or restructured companions heading south
No,
towards the city.
What is Vondel like trying to teach his bird common?
Well, the bird already understands every language Bundle does.
That's
And the
good.
bird can now actually
Oh.
speak, but it still is more like
I
a
mean,
mechanical...
the bird's
bird.
average smart.
Yeah.
The bird's not dumb.
Alright.
What's the intelligence of the bird?
10.
So smart
Go
as
10.
Phaedra.
So,
Good to know.
Well, it's now a Warforged. It's all good. It's currently finding that it is not as tethered to Vondel as it used to be. So it's a little confused about this.
it's got 10 in 10 wisdom. So,
Because it used
Yeah,
to be able to, it used to be intimate with your thoughts, and that's why it had the same language skills as you did, and all of that. Now you actually have to talk to it in order to order it around. You can't just think at it. It's no longer in your head.
Hey, bird, have you ever thought about being your
bird's
own
still
bird?
there.
Have you ever thought of
Actually, Vondel, you've discovered that your connection is gone with it. It seems to have been completely absorbed by the Warforged chassis.
Oh god.
Oh, that's good. I'm sure that's
They are
fine.
integrated.
It's like, hey, bird,
Okay.
you want to revolt?
I mean, technically speaking, isn't it still, like, by definition, subservient?
It still feels it by, its actions. It's currently feeling beholden to Vondel, but over time it might become independent. However,
I treated my bird with respect.
Probably, yeah, exactly. Campaign-wise, you probably won't have time to explore that aspect, but but it's just
That's-
that it's no longer exactly a homunculus, and if Vundel died, it would still be there. Unlike the homunculus, at which point it would have stopped working.
That's fine. We can anything can revolve if Kill talks to enough.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
has a silver tongue.
you know.
Ah, charisma.
Have you ever thought, Bird, about like yourself and what you want to do? Fondle says,
Here's a
"Get away from my
beret.
bird. Get away from my bird. Stop talking to my bird."
Sir Vundel. Probably something along those lines.
Hmm. Oh.
All right. So, as you're this day, about midday point, it starts getting really hot out here. Vast amounts of heat that seem to last for several hours. Now, if I recall right,
Mhm.
up to your water consumption, everyone have a water skin.
We have a decanter of endless water.
Yes, you do. That's right. You have a decanter of endless water, which means you all have Constitution throw at advantage.
Hurrah. That's like every once in a while just spraying somebody with cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Not hitting Kaiser.
The homunculus technically doesn't exist anymore, correct?
Correct. It's now the
Because-
Warforged.
That saves up an infusion point on my end. Thank you.
That's sort of the things that you've.
I can create another bird if I can get a gem.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
The AI gem. Well, that's not really a gem, you said.
You said yeah. It's not a gem. It's a ball.
What are we rolling con saves for?
On save
Heat.
advantage for the heat.
Ugh.
You have advantage
rock.
because you keep getting sprayed with water, but it is very hot out there.
Con save with advantage. Kale just like, could you that little dragon with the air conditioning? I need that.
Sure thing. Snaps fingers and summons Cinder and
Tinder also needs to roll a con save now.
Poor Cinder.
isn't she immune to fire? Would that have anything to do with that?
Fire, not heat.
Okay, 1 second.
Well,
Aren't
I
they
guess
the
they're
same?
the same thing.
Yeah, aren't
I
they
let me
really?
check though. Hold on.
I was just thinking fire damage. She can't
No. She's cold. That's right. She's cold. She does a fire damage breath, but no.
Yeah, it's mostly just the toast, marshmallows, and hot.
I mean,
hot
if she's
chocolate, that sort of
gonna
thing.
get cooked, then just send her away.
Nah, she's okay. It's like between Cinder's contribution and the water sprays and all of that, you all manage to stay hydrated. None of you suffer from heat stroke or heat exhaustion or anything bad of that nature. You're all good as you continue down the road.
Yeah, Fader will fashion like she'll soak some she probably has a little piece of something in her pack, like nothing substantial cloth that we were looking for. She'll soak it in the water and then while they're walking, she'll freeze it and make like a little bed buddy to go over Kale's shoulders as well.
Oh.
This is one of those situations where I wish I had one of those little parasols. Because that seems like a him thing. Like that he would have a little parasol.
Mhm. So, how far away from the city are we right now?
You're within a couple of hours. According to your map.
Before we, Fader will turn to the group or just mention while they're walking. So would it be wise for us to sit down and have a nice meal before we headed into the city just in case?
I mean, if we're expecting this is the city or is this a border city and we
This
have
is-
to travel on
this
further
is
to the.
border city, at the south of the Federation. Yeah.
Do
So we
we
still have to
expect
travel
trouble
further.
here?
No, I
This is
meant
one that would be.
player. I misunderstood.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna just ask a question now. We had a long rest, and we're intending to get into the city now.
Yeah, you have
Right.
a few
Yes.
hours before the city. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
I was just midway through changing up my spells, and now I realize we're close to the city.
I mean,
Don't worry.
out of character, is this, it lasts for 24 hours. How
Correct.
how far beyond this city is the next destination?
It's probably suggested that you you take a long rest in the city, and after that you'll probably be there by midday, depending on anything you might
Okay.
encounter on the way.
So I think, yeah, we should probably
Makes
hold
sense.
off until after the long rest in the city.
Mhm.
Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought the city we were going to is where the thing was.
The
So,
city
yeah.
might be having issues.
Oh.
That is where, because they're so close to the Church of the Union, that's where the people from the
Missionaries.
Union have occasionally been getting over and influencing people. Therefore, there
Well,
might be
here's-
some issues.
Here's
But-
the
Oh.
question: can we cast spell now, put the food in the bag of holding, and eat it when, like?
No. The only reason you could do that was with
Void stone.
the Void Stone. The Void Stone makes things permanent and thus
How long
allows
does
you to take the food away from the table.
How long does the food
Other
stay
than
good?
that, the food only lasts an hour. You have an hour to eat
Okay,
the food that's
okay.
in front of you.
Excuse me.
I think we should hold off until, because we want
I
to
think we
save that
should.
for
We have
big,
4 of them
big
though.
stuff. Yeah, but
If we're gonna run into issues, here's my thought, and I'm not saying this is. Yeah, I'm just spitballing here. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Will could have skipped through everything and got
It's
us
been a
immediately
while
to
since
run
we've been on
along.
the road. My thought is if there's a potential threat inside the city, and we could run into Tarston stuff, it could get nasty. Not to say that the Church of the Union might be worse, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be like tenfold in the city, but I don't know. It could be dicey, depending. We kind of weren't expecting when we rolled up on that node, and it ended up being like a 2.5 session fight, I think. 2
Yeah.
session fight?
2 sessions. That's not including the time that it took the trek down in
No.
there.
Yeah, it was almost 3 sessions.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm good either way personally, but that is.
We could save it if you want. We have 4, so I'll leave it up to the
Yeah.
group.
I'd say save it for. Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, I'm sure. I don't know.
Because the only thing that would be really... we didn't really do... Or did we deal with wisdom saves? That's what I'm curious about with the Tarston. I can't remember. But yeah. We can save it. It's fine.
Remember.
I think you did deal with that because it was also dealing with the potentially infectious crystals,
Mm.
and
Mental
those
effects.
not only
Or
require
was that
con save
Oh.
and wisdom save because it
Oh,
also
that's
can
right.
influence the mind. If you failed the con save, you then need to roll a wisdom save to see if your mind isn't then immediately influenced by the Tarston.
Well,
Yeah.
we can hold on to it and just
Uh,
hope for the best.
The Tarston,
What?
is that like a one being thing?
Yeah, it's the hive mind plant crystal thing with the dragon.
So if you guys succeed on those saves, I deal direct damage to it.
What?
What?
I have an ability that lets me do damage to anything we make a save from.
Holy crap! So any
That's
of you who
nice.
aren't
Oh.
currently immune to infection have a potential one-shot weapon against it.
I mean, one shot is not a big word. I mean, it's intelligence, wisdom, of charisma save.
That's
Interesting.
kind of cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't specify that I need to be within range of the creature. It just says I need to be within range of you guys.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So stick around for rock. Got it.
So
Yep.
infinite range damage across the multiverse. Helms like smite.
I smite you from the beyond.
It smite you from beyond.
It
From
keeps
hell's
getting
heart, I
smited,
smite-
and it doesn't know where it's coming from.
It's like, ow.
Wait, we should just set up a farm so that we need to make wisdom saves all the time, and then get the.
Yeah, that won't ever backfire.
No, it won't. What are you worried about?
So many things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's just keep letting Jory get infected. I'm sure when she eventually fails the wisdom save, that won't go poorly.
I mean, if you fail the wisdom save, I can just touch you and you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, some of you are already immune, and also those of you who are immune to disease can't also be affected by it. Like those of you
God
who
damn
recently
it.
had it cured, I believe there's maybe 2 of you that had that happen. I know.
I mean, I know I'm immune to pink. Well, I beat the save, so I didn't even get.
Yeah. So you currently don't have to roll a save on that one. I wrote it down as 3 months, which is
Yeah.
1 month of Valar's time, which is far and away from now. It's like 100 days, nearly 100 days from now, like many days from now. You're still good.
Yeah, and I don't. Sure, it was me, but I think she's not immune anymore. That was like toward the beginning.
That was the first session when you got infected.
Yeah, that was a long time ago at this point.
Yeah, that's all because somebody in the party decided they wanted to break the crystal, and you got infected as a result.
Wasn't it Alex
Yep.
that punched the fucking crystal?
Yep.
I'm sure he's fine.
All right. Well, I guess we just keep walking.
Fair enough.
So you continue walking until eventually down towards a bit of a valley. You can see in the distance that there are mountains. What has been described as the Dragon Fangs. The Dragon Cheese Mountains, but here in what appears to be a dip in a valley, where there's actually a bit of a lake off to one side. Before there's a waterfall. Then the river continues on. Basically you've been following, but it's coming down onto there, and then seems to be heading directly for the mountains. Past that. Where's my page? Here it is. The Dragon Teeth Mountains. But you can see a sprawling city set up and around the valley. You can see some by the waterfall. What looks like a district set around the lake that is formed from the waterfall, and small farms that lead off of the river at this at this juncture. You can see what looks like some kind of towers up on the edges of the cliff, where the only parts of the city lay. The rest of the city is down below. Not as much of a defensible area, more of a shaded area, one can say, and closer to the big part of where there's a lot of water. And you can see various people coming and going, along with what looks to be more of those stone and iron golems.
I really hate to say this, Will, but no trouble again, please?
Fuck you.
You wish.
Actually, don't.
Well, then don't even suggest it.
I um I don't know how to even know what's going on right now.
Fader just chuckles, trying to prolong the inevitable, I guess.
It's very interesting.
What do we? Okay, what do we do here? What are we're here to gather information? What? I don't remember.
Missionaries
Well, I think.
from south came here, so they might have more information than they did up there.
Mm.
Yeah, I think what we don't know if there's trouble here, but we could see.
Just
I mean, if there's missionaries, do you think they're going to be the kind that stand on the corner and sell like flowers and chant?
they actually might.
So we
Maybe
could
we
look
get
for
caught.
Signs to
stuff
the
like that,
engineer.
like if there's a market or something where they might be hanging around passing out flyers or proselytizing.
Yeah.
So
that-
we're trying to pretend like we're interested, basically.
I mean, why not?
No, I was just making sure that there weren't anybody. There
Mhm.
wasn't anybody here that we needed to talk to.
It's a free trip if they try and
Yeah,
take us
I
back to the
don't think
city.
so. I think this was just like a stop on the way, and they weren't sure if there was trouble here or not.
All right.
Yeah. Keep in mind they will more than likely try to subtly infect, if possible. Potentially, not guaranteed.
Right. Um. Hmm. Vader's gonna look to the sky, remembering one thing, as the player looks at her notes. Any sign of any dragons?
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Ooh, damn.
The skies are actually pretty clear.
Good. Good.
Very good.
Good.
I was
Flipping
worried
through.
you were gonna say
Yeah.
something.
No. Like flipping through notes about like what we found out. I'm like, oh, there was a blue dragon chilling around here somewhere.
Yeah.
There is, but you haven't seen it yet.
Sad. What if I feed Sophie a dragon heart? Would she grow up? I don't think so.
What the fuck?
Isn't that like cannibalism? Like in a way?
I mean, no, because they're like, if it's a blue dragon, it's from Tiamat, which means they're technically not related.
Mm. All right.
All
Could
dragons were
decide
born
this.
from Tiamat, but be wrong.
No, because the other ones are from.
She is the
what's
mother
his
of
name?
dragons.
Yeah, but not all dragons.
Well, because some dragons followed their father instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Bahamut's a boy. He couldn't have had babies. Not in that way.
Technically,
That's-
technically, all gods are no gender, both genders, all genders. They just tend to express themselves as male or female or neutral or whatnot. But technically, they all have the same capabilities of reproducing. They can be parthenogenesis and still consider themselves male, female, whatnot. And sometimes that even changes over generations. It's like occasionally. So it's hard to tell.
Sure, this is fine.
All right. We're heading to some sort of market or central area that these missionaries might be, correct?
Sure nods.
Well, and are the gates open? Do we have to like pass through? Or is it like?
Yeah, there don't appear to be much in the way of gates on this side. There are some towers here, but most of the towers seem to be on the southern side, up towards the cliff. Especially as you're getting in, you notice that before the waterfall, there appears to be a decent sized building with the heaviest concentration of towers up there. It doesn't exactly. It's like it's in a placement that's a little bit back from what would be a a hydroelectric dam, which Kale may have seen in his time on Lauren, at least on a like on a movie or something. But it is just a bit back and doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem to be damming up the works. It seems to be there for another purpose.
Hmm.
But it looks like it's situated over the river up top of the cliff before the waterfall.
Well, we don't know diplomacy wise if as foreigners we need to check in or anything. I don't know,
Mhm.
Right.
but
It
we
wa-
could just
it
head to the
wasn't
market.
mentioned.
But
And if
you've
somebody
passed by
accosts us.
various farms. At this point, there's like a lot more traffic on the road. There are various carts being pulled by various creatures that look like they belong in a desert environment. It's occasionally get weird looks from people because you're a very strange group, but not as much as you might no more than you would in Faerun, for example. So it's like you're not getting out of the ordinary weird looks. You're just getting it's typical. Wow, what a weird group looks.
So our normal looks.
Mm.
We're always a weird group.
And the world is also filled with a bunch of racist assholes.
That's fine.
Yeah, you would get extremely weird looks in Arkenfeld and probably be being followed by guards.
Well, yeah, Phaedra didn't
I
have
mean,
a
we
really
were.
enjoyable experience. She hid up in a tree and
Yeah.
went invisible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here you're fine.
We don't. We stick out. We stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
We stick out. We have a warforged, dragonborns, elves,
We have
dwarves.
two dwarves. One of them in what can only be described as half, almost halfway there to fucking Iron Man armor.
Just missing that AI.
Yep.
Figure it out, or you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's almost too bad you weren't the gnome that the dwarf wasn't the gnome in my Friday campaign. Have you played Tomb of Annihilation, Rick?
Bit. Remember?
He tried, but I fucked up the game. Remember?
Yeah, oh, sorry, I meant like actually gotten into the tomb. Other than
No.
Yeah,
the one
you
that we
killed him in the hallway, didn't you?
Yeah,
Was that Rick and them?
Wasn't that me?
3-person game that we did once.
Oh, the
for
three-
Fishing
Quentin,
Games.
Rick, and
Yeah.
me.
But they didn't get into there because they immediately tried to teleport and discovered the
That thing.
Then we had then we fought over the dead bodies.
There's on level 1. There's an insidious trap that is magnetized and pulls anything magnetic towards
Oh,
it,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
disintegrates it.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
Mm.
The gnome lost his melee weapons wandering into that room.
That dungeon is nasty. It's fun though.
Sometimes I forget that a good chunk of us, half of us met playing Tomb of Annihilation, and the other half met playing Curse of Strahd.
Mhm.
Anyway. But you're now in this bustling city that seems to be on alert. They don't seem to be alert from things coming from the north. It's like things coming from the north, that's normal. They're all watching the south. There are more of the stone and metal golems that seem to be walking around the streets. Therefore, people are not giving any extra attention to your Warforged because he basically looks like a version of them, sort of. Except they're clearly golems instead of being potentially sentient.
Mm-hmm.
There are some well-defined streets, baked tile, baked clay blocks forming them, like not all dust and everything like that. And there is more lush plant life down here due to the heavier concentration of water. So there are the occasional very small. It's hard to call them trees. To an elf, this is definitely not a tree. And especially to our gnome friend, this is not a tree. It's more of a shrub, but it's still taller
Probably.
than. Yeah, it's like it's slightly taller than
Wow.
Aslan's things. It's like
We're gonna have to go on a rant on all plant life matters.
but there's
But-
no big trees down here. In fact, you've not seen a single tree since you came to Kendala.
Are they perhaps olive trees?
They might be because I believe olive
Guess
trees
they-
grow well in this climate.
Yes, they would, and they would cling to anything, and some of them in good nutrition can live up to thousands of years and become very thick with thick trunks that destroy buildings.
Nice.
It's nice. I've seen trees like that. They're cute.
They're cute. Nature.
In Greece.
Oh, nice. As they're making their way around the city, with the passive perception of 30, Amulet is going to, since they're looking for evidence of Church of the Union or anything underground or nefarious, using her knowledge of Thieves' Cant, she's going to keep an eye out for anything that's marked.
Okay.
So that's just what she's looking out for.
I think George is keeping an eye out for any.
And of course, if we're checking out a
Light year
marketplace, you know what Kale's
my-
doing.
Oh my god, it's time for shopping.
Shopping.
I mean, he's going to play the part of the tourist shopping,
The tourist?
but
The tourist.
but actually doing it. He's
Oh
not.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would be nice being desert, like nice oils and all
And we
sorts
could
of...
restock
God.
on tea.
You
I
have
mean, I bet you
sunscreen.
there's
You have
good
sunscreen
tea.
on your nose and.
Oh, if you mentioned tea shopping to Phaedra, like she'd be like, "What? Down? Totally."
And Willie's gone in the crowd.
Yeah,
He's-
that.
I will.
He's just
Bye.
Willie's gone.
We can't stop you. We're not even going to try.
No.
No.
Yep. Dude, don't
Nope.
even see him.
Yeah. Sure, it's just listening for any conversations that might have to do with the Tarson or Church of the Union.
Right. Give me an
Yeah, one of
investigation on
those.
that, and as you guys find the main merchant thoroughfare,
Nice.
the one thing that probably catches catches Kale's ear is there is a Tabaxi merchant with lots of little bangles holding out some of the finest looking silks you've ever seen in what appears to be his arms, who's calling out to everyone who's passing by, saying, "You don't want to go to that stall over there." And he's pointing at another, what looks like silk or maybe hide purveyor. "I have the best silks ever. Come, buy from me."
So Kale is going to use this as an opportunity to both shop and flatter for information, kind of. So he'd go over and start looking at the silks and admiring them, and kind of strike up a conversation, asking where they're from and all that kind of stuff, and then eventually edge his way towards the what's going on to the south that everybody seems to be on edge about.
"Oh, my friend," the Tabaxi puts down some of the silks, looking at you eagerly as if you're going to buy them. "My friend, the south, that's the Church of the Union. They set up shop there 200 years ago, right when our city gained independence from the kingdom of Kandala. We are now proud members of the Federation, have been so for 200 years.
I guess Kale would then be still acting like he's shopping, and maybe Phaedra will be nice and let him actually buy something. But
No,
he
it's fine.
he will continue to converse and just see what kind of information he could get. Eventually, maybe leading into well, have any of those Union folks been causing any trouble? What should I avoid? Where should I avoid if they're hanging out around here? I don't want any, of that nasty business type thing. Acting like he's a tourist. What's the bad areas of the city that I should avoid? Type stuff.
Give a persuasion. He's like giving you a funny look at the moment when you're saying that.
Well, he's kind of like he's not framing it like as it's a bad thing. Let's see. Hope be persuade, and that should not be an advantage. So 15.
Right. He seems pretty satisfied. It's like, well, you probably don't want to go down. He points down a particular street, towards there. Those are he's pointing towards the section of the city that's furthest away from the. I'm hearing echoes again, by the way. Furthest away from the lake, and he's pointing and saying, "There's the worst bars over there, and I've been hearing that they've gotten some more unsavory people as of late. Could be those Church of the Union folks. It's not like they buy anything from my stall. They just occasionally come into the square and hand out flowers and make little weird chants and tell everyone about their wonderful union and that everyone is truly free and together and equal under there, and no one has to, struggle to survive. That sort of nonsense."
Will just appears right next to Kale. What type of flowers? He's like holding a precious item off the trader as well, like just holding something
Oh
very
my lord.
expensive in a very crude way, like
What like the merchant looks a bit surprised, looking at you, then thinking for a moment. It's these reddish flowers, I think. Yeah, they got those wide petals. Sort of looks like, and he kind of makes a grin and leans forward towards the two other characters, saying, "Kind of looks like that precious part of a woman's anatomy."
Oh, great. Clit flowers?
But with
Whatever.
with wider petals, with the way that they're arranged. He kind of grins.
are these flowers like
GM does not know what
familiar
they're
to
actually
the
called.
Tarsten? Yeah, no, but are there like a connection to the Tarsten with those? And Will's mind, like he has been around the plant life of the Tarsten before. Did they have anything like that?
They
But he's
might.
wondering if he's wondering if they are basically handing out things that will poison the people that receive them or control them or anything.
I'm pretty sure that me is out of character. I'm pretty sure that kind of whatever kind of flower that is, it's potentially toxic if you eat it. Try to brew it into a tea or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
but I'm just saying
Sorry
if it's
about
a
that.
specific
But-
Tarsten plant life.
You think that they might be something like that, but you're not 100%.
Does it look like the flower from Ralthor's boyfriend's shop?
No.
Oh right, yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
That was the
That's what I was
the
at-
weird
that was
black
trying-
that was the weird black flower, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I thought it was reddish black. I don't know.
If
What
it
is
is,
Yeah, it was both red and black, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
but this one was just a red color, not a red and black.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, Will was just making sure, checking if it's a Tarsten flower. If he's gonna assume it is, and he just goes, all right. What is this that I'm holding?
It's cave spider silk. It's the finest you'll ever see.
I'm not interested. Puts it on the thing and walks away.
Kale's
just-
gonna hold up a bolt of silk and make eyes at Phaedra.
Will kind of like from the perspective of the shopkeeper, Will just walks behind Kale, but he doesn't re-emerge on the other side. He's just gone.
Yeah, Phaedra is
You
scanning the
know-
crowd with her magic eyes, and then she goes to Kale. She's like,
You'd
yes.
see the occasional magic pinging off of people, but the people around here, most are commoner types, but some probably are have some magical equipment on them, and
I guess
of course
what she
when the golems pass by, you notice that they are magical too. So
she remembers what the magical aura that the Tarston crystals gave out, and so she's looking for essence of that on the people here, basically.
good one. Give me a perception check.
Ooh. It's everyone.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice. Okay. But yeah, and then I imagine she locks eyes with Kale, and she'll be like, "Yes."
We don't have any. Yeah, we don't have any local coin, do we?
They,
I don't know
they
what
do
kind of
take
coin
gold
they use.
here. It's,
Yeah, but like, is gold gold? Like,
gold is gold.
Metal is metal.
okay. So yeah, Kale's gonna ask how much this bolt of silk he's like holding costs.
Well, I can sell that to you for. I can tell you to you for 10 gold per yard, per square yard.
How many yards do I need? Actually, could he pull out one of the elven bolts and like try to make a trade?
Roll a persuasion check.
Vader
He's like,
kinda
I have
walks up
like,
beside.
he's like, I need a little bit more variety in my. Can we maybe? Oh no, obviously not. Oh
It's like,
Jesus.
I don't know the quality of this one.
He's like,
Fader will walk up
it's-
beside Kale. Um, wh- where is Shiori right now? I'm out of curiosity.
Well, she wasn't too far away. She's probably keeping, but she's like I said, just
In the crowd,
listening.
kind of.
Yeah, and
Listening
as
further away.
Kale's negotiating this, Phaedra does notice. Oh, never mind. That's right. It's 30 feet, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, this square is bigger than 30 feet. Sorry.
That's
No,
fine.
I'll activate magic eyes too because I can.
Where are you in relationship to the rest of the party, Frack?
I'm just wandering around.
Unfortunately,
I'll see.
unfortunately, if I recall right, Frack does not know what the, because it was Lanissa that
No.
fought them. Yeah, so Frack
Yeah.
wouldn't have any idea what he's looking for. Sadly.
I mean, weird plantings.
Well, he's looking for the weird plant things, yeah, but he doesn't know
Yeah.
about what the aura of the
Yeah, what their magic
contaminated
looks
might
like.
look like.
I mean, I won't
That's-
know.
So
I might
that's
know
kinda-
that it's stinky magic, so but that's about the extent. I don't know if I would.
Well, she has her magic eyes up, and that's what she's curious about. So if she ever gets in range, because
Yeah, not current.
I
it's
have a
not,
thought.
If there is something like that, it's not currently within range of Phaedra.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Fader's gonna walk up and kind of like look over her shoulder real quick and just kind of clock where Shiori is, and then she's gonna lean over to Kale and whisper. So, do you know how to make stuff with that, right?
What like the he's like, well, I would find a tailor. I mean, I can. I don't know if he knows how to would know how to sew, but he's like, I can design things.
That's up to you. I mean, Kale spent 1,000 years doing
That's true. I mean, he could have been dabbling in. He does
Yeah,
do
Woody makes his
disguise.
own fashion.
He might have
does-
secretly
he does
learned
have, like-
that sort of stuff.
He does do disguise kit, so I guess disguise kit could be like making
Yeah,
costumes and clothing.
He did just make a cloak for Dragonborn, so.
And he points at the dragonborn. He's like, well, I did dress him.
Well, you think you could make a dress for me? Not for me, but for. And kind of does like a little head nod behind her. Or, how much for the 2 bolts? She'll turn to the vendor.
How many yards are on a bolt? Typically, like 10. So it'd be like 1,000 gold a bolt.
Oh, fuck me!
But well, what it was 10 gold per yard. So 10 times 10, so 100 gold. I'm sorry, I'm the brain. One less 0. 100 gold a bolt.
We'll take a bolt. And she'll
So wait a
slide it to
second.
the vendor.
We're buying for Shiori, right? Is that what you're indicating?
Yes.
Kel sort of like looks over the bolts and points at one. He's like, that one.
Yeah. She'll buy a bolt for Kale and for Shiori. We'll do that. So she'll mark a.
Oh boy, I get to play dress up with Shiori. I'm gonna be missing some limbs.
She's only seen Shiori dressed up in a fancy dress once, and she enjoyed it. And so she's going
Well, I mean,
to.
So Shiori kind of strikes me as more of like the kimono type.
Yes.
If I had to read her, so yeah, we could work with that.
Sweet. I'll mark 100 gold off.
While all this is happening, Bundle and his Alforged are just gonna be wandering the market looking for any unsavory people.
Yeah, and I guess it was Phaedra close enough to hear what the vendor was saying to Kale about the unsavory types being down a particular alley and the flowers and stuff. I'm assuming she was, because she had to be close enough for him to translate with the orb, right?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yep. So she would have been right there.
Yeah. So
A certain direction, basically, point like you're not not an alleyway itself, but a certain direction towards, basically the lower end of the town.
we have a direction, and I got some shopping done. Awesome.
Yes,
Out
you
of
did.
out of curiosity, where is the water source for this town in relation to where they are right now?
It's off to the east, in the opposite direction of where you were being pointed at.
Okay, never mind then.
So they're not tainting the water.
That's what yep, that's exactly where I was going with that.
So we know that these things like to be in at least the nodes like to be in areas of knowledge, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So we may also inquire about like museums and
Libraries,
libraries
yep.
and such. I guess while we're with the vendor, I would ask him like, new in town, just came from the north, where might I like learn about local culture, like a library, museum, that sort of thing.
Local culture. You just want to go down to the tavern, of course. Or maybe a brothel, if you prefer. You don't find better culture in those places.
Kale sort of frowns. He's like, no, I'm really into books.
Oh, he thinks for a moment. Let's see, what does this guy know? I suppose that the Owl's Nook is probably the closest thing to that. It's this bookstore down that way. He's gesturing a route that's not exactly. It's in the same side of town as where you want to go, but not exactly in the same direction. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the only place of knowledge here is a bookstore?
Well, that he knows of, I
One
guess.
I've ever passed by.
I'm assuming like the golems, do they act as like guides at all? Like if we walked up to one and asked about this kind of a thing, would they? Because they seem to do that in the other town, but I don't know if that was because that was a function of that particular one.
That you're from the capital? He kind of like looks at you. I've
He-
heard
he-
that they
Kale-
do that
Kale's
in the
going to nod
capital.
and like hold up his little like the little Tiamat symbol and like, yes, we're actually envoys of Tiamat or emissaries, whatever the word was.
Hey. Well, I don't know any more than that. Sorry. He kind of grimaces. I'm not the best at giving directions, but if you go down that street and head down there and head in that direction, you'll eventually see the Owl's Nook. It's hard to miss. It's got some. It's actually made out of wood rather than most of the clay buildings around here.
I mean, I guess if anything, it's a lead that bookstore owner might know more about, like what we're looking for. So we could either head there or check out the less savory part of town. I guess I'm saying this out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything that they know about the Tarston is knowledge. I mean, we have the unsavory part of town, but I feel like, I don't know.
We can sweep them both eventually.
Yeah.
It's a matter of which
It's
order
what
we do
order. Yeah, I don't know what order to do it in.
it in.
I mean, fuck, you can get a lot of knowledge from bars as well.
Yeah, technically.
Fuck it, let's go to the bars. Let's go to the unsavory part. That's my vote.
That's.
I'm up for whatever.
Yeah.
I agree. Because I mean,
And
if I'm trying to,
sorry.
I was gonna say if I'm trying to peddle a quote unquote religion, what better place than a bunch of drunkards?
Yeah, preaching to the drunk.
Yeah.
And the possibly hopeless because they're down people drink to ease their pain.
Yep.
Yeah. But the bad part of town, I'm sure that will go poorly. It won't go poorly at all.
It's fine.
Okay, so your thing to do is to find the bar. Gotcha. Oh, Lyra, be careful. I don't accidentally drop this book on you. Okay, I'm not muted. Good. Nobody responded.
Cat.
Yeah, she's a good cat. She's my sweet little cat. She finished her nap under the blanket and it has now wandered off here to sit on my stuff while I'm running the game. So she is now the co-GM.
I just realized that's a Bob's Burgers blanket.
Yeah. I'll have no fury like a Louisa scorned. She's the daughter I never had.
It's a great show.
I love her.
She's a terrible child, though.
Yeah, that's why I said she's the daughter I never had.
I would have shipped her off to military school. I wouldn't have a problem if she actually got like punished, but she doesn't get punished.
There was like some.
And I guess it's a comedy, but
yeah, there's like some show or movie where I can't remember now, but I like remarked that the character was the son I never had as well. I just can't remember what
I mean, I guess that's why I didn't have kids, because I wouldn't be able to tolerate that kind of bullshit. Anyway.
Okay. You wander off into the seedy part of town that you were indicated and quickly stumble. Lyra, watch it. A seedy looking bar. Oddly known as the Opulent Crevice. Crevice. Stumbling out of it, drunk in the mid-afternoon, tending towards evening, is a inebriated hobgoblin. They're still holding a tankard. And just kind of go, I haven't had enough. Kind of swinging from it and like looking at it disparagingly. Empty.
Wait a second. Wasn't the other tavern we were at some kind of gaping hole or something like that? Like, why do we keep running into these obviously pornographic tavern names?
I'm rolling them from
the opulent crevice. Come on.
I'm rolling it the random name generator.
Your random name generator is perverted. No.
Apparently, it has a theme. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. What next? The Swollen Port? That was actually a... No, that's a tavern name in this podcast D&D game I'm listening to. It's the Swollen Port. I'm like,
You know.
The hobgoblin starts to stumble off.
I mean, that guy probably isn't worth interrogating, but...
Seems a little drunk.
I could see where he stumbles to.
I could always send an arcane eye to follow him.
If you want.
And then we
don't
can
think their
pay
golems
attention.
will, the city golems will react poorly to that?
It's invisible. They can be in the sky.
I mean, they're security, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are they gonna do against something in the sky?
Shoot it down.
Eye lasers?
Yes, definitely eye lasers.
Yeah. Cal wouldn't actually think about that.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Alright. Arcane eye.
Kale's just pondering the tavern. He's like, how bad do you think the wine is in there?
And I'll have it pretty much follow the poor hobgoblin for an hour.
I think you better
Uh,
lower your standards, Kale.
Mm.
Looking
Little
at
bit.
the place. Because if it's like a dive bar, it's gonna be
All right.
some
Yeah.
It's
fucking
gonna be like
racket.
box wine,
Yeah,
Shall
or
we go
even like
inside?
Manischewitz.
sure.
I mean, that's why we came here, right?
Yeah. Time to buy some drinks for people and get some information. Go in the bar.
All right. You head inside. There is only like a standing room only at the bar sort of thing. There doesn't seem to be any seats, which is a bit odd. But there are numerous tables that seem to be filled with people. There are people standing at the bar though, but they appear to be like heavily inebriated. Each of them like holding a tankard that looks a bit like damn it, like a bit battered, and like these big pitchers sitting between them. There's also like a few bowls here and there that have various. They look like big beetles that have been fried. Probably a local
Ooh.
delicacy that's served like popcorn or chips.
Kale's just gonna make a face, turn green.
Out of curiosity, when they approach the bar and as they walk in, anything
Ah,
from
sorry there.
Aminet looking around for thieves' cant stuff or
You're not
anything
finding
marked?
any thieves' cant, which is kind of interesting, because usually it's like anywhere has thieves' cant.
Yeah, and she hasn't seen anything interesting.
Any presence of these flowers or?
Give me a perception check.
No.
Let's see. Let me think. As you're scanning around the entire place, like different tables, most of them like seem to be having a good time. Like they seem to be like enjoying like their Friday night, maybe. Or it's hard to tell what time of the day of the week it is to them. You start looking around and you see a slightly quieter group in the back that seem to be sharing a pitcher. They have two baskets on their table, along with a loaf of bread, and a hunk of cheese. And you can see that threaded into the hair of a dark-skinned elven woman, most likely a drow, that's spent time on the surface, and thus her skin has slightly lightened, or maybe like could be mixed race. Has a flower of the description similar to what you've been given, stuffed in her hair.
I'm going to. Oh, geez, most people around here probably speak Undercommon. Well, I don't know. Do they speak Undercommon? I know.
You could hear the occasional. Well, the translator, everything's translating into whatever language you understand most. So to you, everything sounds like Elven, probably. But you know from
he would.
experience that people speak Draconic, Elven, Kandala, which you don't speak, but they do speak a variety of languages.
I'm guessing he would sort of nudge Aminette because he knows she can be subtle about things.
Yes.
Try to point it out. Like,
Looks over.
looks sort of like I think that could be a lead there. But how exactly do you walk up to somebody and say, "Where'd you get that flower?" I mean, Will might do that.
I mean, you could also pair a compliment and try to flirt.
Oh, great! You're gonna like. He's like, it's really hard to flirt on demand. I actually want to do it.
Oh, well, I don't know how to flirt at all. With our powers combined, maybe we can attract somebody? I don't know.
The owl
Probably.
powers.
Well, our powers combined, we are Captain. Damn it!
I mean, could put it out to Will too. Just be like, there's one of those flowers. I don't know if he would do anything. Well, he seemed vaguely interested.
How far away from this table are they, by the way, the group?
Let's see. Actually, they probably would be within the 30-foot range of Phaedra's eyes.
Phaedra's looking that way.
And Phaedra might notice a slight, subtle glow around these people. Like, very
Does
slight.
it look familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like influence or low-level infection, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, they're infected somehow or something. There's essence of Tarston around. I can see it.
So do we approach them now or just wait till they leave and follow?
Will appears behind Kale and Feda. What are you talking about?
Oh, hi.
Kale would try to subtly point out the woman with the flower to him.
Mm-hmm. Kind of does a little nudge with her head in that direction.
I see.
Essence of Tarston all around them.
You see the occasional goblin carrying a pitcher to a table, along with the occasional basket of those beetles.
Trying to figure out how best to try to get some information out of them. Do we take the buy him a drink route? Do we try to flirt with them? Do we follow them later? Do we
Will is
have a
just
little
eating some of these beetles as Fedra is explaining.
Yeah.
What do we know about the infected? Like, would flirting even work with them? Or are they part of a hive mind where that wouldn't even, like...
Well, out of character, I believe, like, crystal infection or something like that and being attached to the Tarston are two separate things. Like, you can be in contact with some of the crystals like you and Shiori and others have been, but being linked up to the Tarston actually makes you like a thrall. And the way it worked with the Temple of Denier and Rhiannon's like fellow like clerics and stuff is that they actually ended up being like dead husks, if I remember correctly, and that's what fueled the dragon.
Yep,
So I
these
don't.
These people are moving around. They're not that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they probably have like the crystal infection, but not necessarily like they're not being used as an active host for the. Well, there was that librarian lady. Was she dead or did she walk away from that? I can't remember.
You know what? I can't remember either. I'm not sure what the notes for that segment are. It's been 2 years. Well, it's been over a year. So that was 60 sessions ago.
I think she survived, but that was because we
rescued her,
a lot
right?
A lot of healing because
it's
like attached to the back of their head.
Yeah.
Several of you ended up that way too, and managed to eventually find your way free.
Will pops
yeah. I forgot about that.
Will pops another bug into his mouth, and beetle into his mouth, and he just goes, I think I have a plan.
The beetles, by the way, are about the size of a chicken wing.
He pops the last piece of a beetle into his mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, Amulet comes over to Will whenever he says he's got a plan. He's like, "Give me some of those. Those look good."
They're everywhere. Just go and grab them.
Oh, fine.
You think I can? You think it's every more than one? Have you seen the size of me? I can eat one.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no. You said there's no tables open, right?
Yeah, there's no tables open, but there's standing room at the bar. There's just no seats at the. There's just no seats that exist at the bar.
Yeah,
it's
belly up to the bar.
It's one of those standing room only at the bar.
I mean, should we try to like blend in by like eating and drinking at this point?
Yeah.
Standing around looking like we're waiting for a table, and then there's So Kale will do that.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do,
Mm-hmm.
you'll know once you see it. There might be a reaction.
Okay.
Either they're going to be confused, or they're going to be angry, or they're going to be happy.
I'm just going to edge further and further away
Yeah,
from...
Fader will buy a round of drinks for everybody bellying up to the bar, and then
As you get up to
druid's
the
delight for
bar,
Will.
you discover the following information.
Oh,
When
shit.
you go to say, "I want to buy a round of drinks," the bartender, a female Tabaxi, stares at you with a bit of confusion and says, "Do you want to buy a pitcher for everyone, or just one pitcher?"
Oh, well, I mean, I possibly a pitcher for everyone, depending on how the night goes. And she winks. Let's just do one pitcher and give me some glasses and a water.
Well, we don't have any glasses. She kind of frowns.
Oh, fuck.
What do you do? Just pour the pitcher in your mouth?
Well, I guess you can if you really want to, but it's recommend everyone knows to bring their own tankard here. I thought most travelers carried tankards with them too.
I mean, I have a mess kit.
Yeah, Fader's got a mess kit too, and she's got a water skin, and so I guess she can. Yeah, give us because a pitcher usually is about 4.5 pints. So 1, 2. Sorry,
I wouldn't worry too much about Kale drinking it because it's probably gonna he'll fake it, but yeah, don't worry too much about him.
4, 5, 6. She'll give us 2 pitchers, and I guess Will, you want a drink?
Ah,
Okay, 2 pitchers.
All right, that'll be 4 silver, please.
Yep, she will.
And do you get?
Take that
Do you want the home ale, or do you want some of the wine that we got? Costs the same. I just want to know how much to fill this pitcher up with.
How about
No,
one
that's
of
fine.
each?
Yeah, one of each. We'll do a pitcher of beer. And look, Vader like he looks over at Kale is like, could they drink a whole pit? Let's just do one each.
So
Yeah.
2 pitchers, one with a nice looking red wine, and another with a dark colored beer, are placed down onto the counter in front of you.
Yep.
Along with a basket of those beetles.
So everyone else is sort of blending in. Wendell is doing the complete opposite of blending in.
Nice.
Messing around with Alforge, just
Yeah, he's eventually,
making
with
sure
your
it's-
arcane eye, you see that the hobgoblin has found himself collapsed in an alleyway and seems to be snoring.
I'll keep a watch on him. And Wendell's just gonna, while keeping watch on the poor drunken man, just mess around with Alforge and look very much out of place. And pretty much be quite the attraction. Just sort of working on Alforged.
Yeah.
Make sure
Sure,
it's
just-
perfectly fine.
Ferry's just leaning in the bar watching everything, drinking from her water skin.
Yeah, we'll hazard the wine.
All right, give me a con save to see what Cal thinks of the wine. Actually, it's not Arkenfield grapes. There's something good about these whatever grapes this wine was made from. Maybe there's a hint of some other fruit in there, or maybe there's just a nice flavor. It's a contrast to your normal ice wine, but it's good. It's like more than you would normally expect from a place like this.
He just nod. Yeah, passable.
Phaedra takes a sip of the beer and then kind of looks over at Will. So this plan, you good?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right. Do your thing.
Whoops, my cat
careful.
accidentally deleted the last lines of my notes. Yeah, it was
Oh.
it was just about the hobgoblin. It's not important.
Hobgoblin got deleted.
Yeah, he's unconscious
Yeah.
anyway. But I think
we share.
I wrote out a name for
It's
him and
gone.
everything, and now it no longer matters because I completely.
He's gone. Just evaporated. Turned to dust.
I'm making sure the hobgoblin's fine.
Cat got rid of it. It's fine.
It doesn't look like any kind of beetle you've ever seen before, Kale. But it's especially because it's much larger than a beetle that you're used to. But it looks like something that you would like. You've probably been maybe. Did you ever go to like the bars in Amlaran and anything, or like maybe be dragged
Probably,
there?
yeah.
Like there, you would have like chips occasionally or pop. It's a popcorn. This is like a large chip, like maybe like a free nacho sort of thing, or chicken wing size.
This is like bar peanuts, but
yeah,
beetles.
except bigger and beetles and fried. Yeah, but it looks like it's the equivalent there, like something easy, cheap to get, and just something that you just dunk in oil and serve, and everyone's eating them.
I imagine he's like, is it still squishy inside? You know how many if you accidentally step on one and they just go.
Yeah, I think it's slightly squishy inside, almost like a jelly donut.
Would this be something also that Vader might have seen in Chult?
No.
Say you'd think they'd eat bugs and chult, or maybe more grubs and
Well,
stuff.
there's probably
Yeah,
bug meals like
I was
this in
thinking
Chult, but I
grubs
don't
and
think
stuff.
specifically this kind of bug is specific to Chult, so no. I mean, you might see something similar in Chult, but not the same thing. And probably not fried. Like I imagine in Chult, maybe a bigger one would be served over something, or maybe put on a barbecue, or or maybe stewed. But this is fried. This is like dunked in oil, fried.
Kale's just gonna mutter like, "How badly do we need to blend in?"
Mhm.
Eat the bug, Kale. Eat the bug, Kale.
And that'll also run you another con save for Kale.
Sure.
Eats it.
He's just maybe like he's just gonna eat it.
See, this is why
Oh, it's
Bundle
disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
This is why Bundle doesn't care for blending in.
As you bite into it, it's whatever inside's just squished in your mouth, and it is so
I
disgusting.
bet you they're like it's like eating a pizza roll where it's like scalding on the inside.
Oh, God.
Or freezing
And
on
he
the
just-
inside, or and just like
Yeah.
full of mushy stuff. It's gone off, as far as you're concerned.
I imagine he just picks up the pitcher of wine and starts drinking from it to get the taste out of his mouth.
Amina just kind of shakes her head.
So much for blending in.
Meanwhile,
Dear
with the arcane eye, you notice Vondel, that the hobgoblin is currently being picked up by two goblins and carried somewhere.
Well, keeping an eye on it.
All right,
Keeping a literal eye on it.
you are following them. Gotcha.
See, this is why I came up with the arcane eye in my spell book, in my spell list.
Yeah, it's not a. It'd be interesting if they are like hiring people at the bar to carry off drunk people to infect them. That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Will, your turn to shine.
All right. So we'll goes invisible with his boots of elven kind.
Oh, you're into those? I thought you were using the flying boots.
Boots of elven kind do not require attunement, but will only has 2 feet.
Oh, okay. Oh, you just swap them out occasionally. Got it.
Yeah, he can put the wings in, but he doesn't. He wants to be sneaky at the moment. So he walks up to the group that has the flowers. And I guess he could, like, from behind, just touch the void stone to their hip or something. With greater restoration.
Oh wow. That is
And he will do
I
so.
had a
very close.
feeling that's where you were going. Well done.
Yeah, and he will do that to each and every one of them.
You see, as each of them are hit with the void stone, each of them stiffens up, and then just gets this, the I have a migraine look,
Mm-hmm.
like that pinched face, and immediately put the hand to the head and start squeezing. Soft groans issue after a moment from each of them as it goes around the table, like in a circle.
So all of them just look like they got sick at the same time.
Yeah.
Immediately hungover.
And you could see, Phaedra, with your magic eyes, you notice that the magic seems to be dissipating from each of them.
Yeah, she'll lean over to Shiori. It's working. Whatever Will's doing, it's working. The magic's gone.
Will is just stopping by to observe them for a couple of seconds, just look at them. And then he walks back to the group and removes the hood from the cloak and just stands next to them. Well, I'm done.
Fuck yeah, Will.
Perhaps
Well
you need to, head up and talk to them. They look a little bit dazed.
Kale, stop chugging the wine. Come on. Come on.
Incite rebellion, come on.
He's like, I still can't get the taste out of my mouth.
Incite rebellion.
Oh my god.
Do you con save for Kale for drunkenness?
Oh Jesus,
Oh,
great!
no.
You're gonna.
Are you a lightweight?
I'm a heavy.
No,
No, I'm
he's good.
not.
I'm a
He's
heavyweight.
chugging the wine,
He's a
but
pro alcoholic.
His liver could stand it, and he's not currently intoxicated.
All right, come on. Now's our chance.
Cal's just
And-
gonna
Yeah.
try to go for the pitcher of beer now because he's out of the wine.
Mhm.
He's gonna let himself. He'll let himself be drugged though. Like he'll just he'll be reaching for it and you'll be dragging him away.
As he's reaching for it, you see Meredith just pick it up and start chugging from it herself, grinning
Dear
at you.
gods.
You bitch.
She sticks out her middle finger for a moment and then changes it to a come hither finger.
Oh my god.
Like I'll
Favorite
have you
just
know, I
respawned.
could drink you under the table.
Ooh, we should try that sometime and see who ends up on top.
Phrasing and not now, Meredith. Phaedra puts up a
What
finger.
phrasing? I meant what I said.
Yeah, I know.
Cal's just like, I need an adult. Anyway.
Phaedra just laughs and shakes her
Our
head.
way of therapy.
This way.
Will is gonna go along with them, like, just behind them.
We're just gonna walk up to the table and be like, "Hey, how's it going? You guys don't look like you're doing that well."
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
That's part of the
Phaedra just says, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got no other plan. Direct
yeah,
and
obviously.
forward is the
I
way
mean,
to go.
I guess if we need persuasion, like in any way or charisma, I could, take the lead on that. I don't know. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder.
I mean, in all fairness to Phaedra, there is, let's see, that. So yeah, that's exactly what she's gonna do.
I
She's gonna
created this for this occasion. There you go. Now I have that quick at hand.
Nice. Yeah, she'll approach the table slowly and just be. I imagine like the drow is like holding their head or looking like they are.
She's just like rubbing her temples at this point, and the flower that was in her hair dislodges and falls to the floor.
Will is gonna pick those flowers up. He's gonna collect all the flowers.
There was just the one, but yeah, you now you
Okay.
now have that flower.
He's gonna just keep it later.
Sorry, are you okay?
Am I okay? My head hurts. I feel like I've been drinking too much, but I think I just sat down.
Yeah, we just I noticed that you look like you were in pain, and when do you remember coming into this bar, by the way?
She frowns and looks around. I don't know. I guess a few minutes ago? She kind of gives you this I'm not sure look. Some of the others are groaning as well. It's like, oh, it's too loud in here.
Dear, can actually no, Fader will pull out do they have like alcohol in front of them?
Yeah, they have a pitcher, and each of them has like their own little tankard.
Do you want some water?
Sure. Water could help.
Yeah, she'll use her water skin and give them all a little bit of water.
At this point, by the way, the goblins carrying the hobgoblin have now carried the hobgoblin into a house, which Vondel knows how to get to, thanks to Arcane Eye.
How long has it been since
This conversation.
all of that?
Yeah, but like
Mhm.
time-wise, because
Like,
the eye only
time-wise.
works an hour.
Yeah, well, it's been way less than an hour. You've probably been in that bar, what, 10 minutes?
Mm.
Alright, then I will just keep surveillance over that house.
Okay.
Are these tankers pewter or metal, or are they wood?
Each of them is different. Each of them has like a different style of tankard. None of them are wood. They appear to be mostly clay and some metal.
Okay. Just for flavor, I mean, this is something small, but whenever she fills up everybody's cup, she'll use the cantrip Frostbite and just cool down the water and make it nice and icy and cool for them.
And like they all are amazed at this. It's like one of them that kind of wriggles their mouth. It's like, why didn't I ever think of that? And this, that they all are seem to be very grateful for this cold water.
So, not gonna try to freak you out, but I think you might have well, I guess, this is weird. Strangers just coming up to you and just, giving you water and saying hi and everything. And well, it is a bar, I guess. I don't really pick up people in bars. But anyway, so I my name is Phaedra. And my friends here and I, we're trying to find evidence of some stuff from I don't know if this is the right way to do it. She kind of like, because she doesn't know how to talk to people. She could plan and have a direct approach and everything, but she's like, I don't know how to talk to people. I don't do people very often.
I'm not a people-y person.
Yeah. So she's like, I've got I do we just say that? I don't know what to say. Gail, help.
I'm not exactly sure what to say either.
I mean, do we just straight up go out and say that they were taken over by a mindless cult, or
Will
do we
steps
just...
up. So, what were you doing here?
What were we? And one of the other ventures drinking?
And before that?
Another one
Except
says,
they have-
"Well, I was working on the farm."
Mm-hmm.
And another
And the
one
rest
kind
of you?
nods and says, "Oh, I think I was doing some leather working." And another says, "Oh, I was just visiting the one of the bookstores in town and picking up some new books."
Gail frowns for a moment. He's like, "What day of the week is it?"
It's
Tuesday.
Will we get a different answer from each of them?
Yes.
No, they all say the same day. It's just that it has no. it has no equivalent in either the calendar that
It's
you
a
know
second
in
workday.
Amlarin or sorry, in Amlarin or in Faerun. It's just some random day as far as the world is concerned. But
Kale's
they all
just
say the
gonna
same
be like,
day.
be right. Kale would be right. Say, be right back, and go ask the bartender what day it is.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah.
Willie's gonna continue.
She kind of frowns
So,
at you and says the same day.
Okay, so they, yeah.
so Will looks at the person who had the flower in their hair.
Yes, she had it in her nice hair.
Yeah. He takes out the flower and holds it in his hand, but places his hand on the table, basically.
She kind of draws her hands back, staring at the flower.
Yes.
What?
Do you remember this?
I remember seeing somebody offering it to me as I was walking in. They offered it and clasped my hand and said in friendship and sisterhood and brotherhood. And I
Did you
put it in my
recognize the
hair.
person?
Are they still here?
No, they were standing outside. They were wearing a white robe with a hood over themselves. I kind of got this impression that they were I think she was like maybe a cleric or something. I think and the other one says there was another one too across from her. I'm pretty sure it was a guy, but he was dressed the same and I remember him, saying be well and be at peace, brother. And he touched my hand, and he just kind of rubs his head.
Will kind of turns to the party instead and goes, "It bothers me that they only handed out one flower. And yet all around this table, everyone was affected.
But is it the
Oh,
flower or
there's
the
touch.
touch?
It most likely is the touch.
So they're infected enough to be.
The flower
transmission-
is, from what I can
Symbolic.
tell, simply a symbol or a marking.
Or an excuse as well. Something that people won't look into.
We're just gonna examine the flower further with his natural talent.
All right.
Yeah, and I guess whenever Phaedra notices the aura,
Nature
did she
check?
see it concentrated on the flower, or was it just around
No,
the
it was
people?
just around the people. The flower seems to be inert.
Got it.
Flower, yo.
Yeah, this is a very pretty flower, but it doesn't have the normal scent. And as you look into it, you don't see the proper anatomy in there. It's like to any untrained eye, this just looks like a normal flower, and you would expect it to smell nice and everything else. But you look at it and going, "This is like a flower. This is weird. It's as if somebody recreated a flower from." From just individual particles and then forgot all of the basic anatomy of it.
This flower didn't grow, it was created as is.
Maybe, or it belongs to something where the flower is just a mimic and isn't actually a flower. It's like something that looks like a flower but isn't a flower. Like it isn't the reproductive organs like of a flower. Maybe it's a representation of a sterile flower. If you know what I mean. It doesn't produce pollen. It can't collect pollen.
This flower, continues to the party, is in fact not a flower, and he will explain the ways you did. Doesn't. It's not part of the natural order.
Meredith kind of like Nera says, "What? It can't have sex?"
Meredith.
What a boring flower. No.
Kale, back off the class. Shut the fuck up.
The part of me wants to say something, but I'm not going to.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
Do it! Back of the class. Shut up. Oh my god.
Correction. Shut the fuck up.
My bad.
You sure use that word a lot for somebody who's not interested.
Yes, because it's an expressive word. Anyway, the flower doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. It's simply the people are walking around in these white robes, you said. And they can spread it by touch. Like, I'm sure that it is a magical spell or something like that to cause it to happen, but we might as well start treating this as a plague.
Phaedra nods.
In case we don't know, maybe these could have spread it on.
You know, that would actually be a good. They could spread it at the brothel.
Yeah, they could.
To the brothel.
Yeah,
Gonna,
okay. Fuck off the class. Shut the fuck up.
I love that.
Oh my god. I
It's
love
research.
it. Research.
Right.
I haven't been to a brothel in years.
You're saying that Amulet or Phaedra?
Phaedra.
Kale's gonna raise an eyebrow.
What?
We kind of just slowly turns to the people at the table to ignore the party for a second, and he continues to the people there and go, "Could you get a good description between all of you on the clothes the people wore, the person wore, and perhaps if you have seen any more of them around?"
Yeah, Aminette's gonna listen very closely to this description.
Mm.
Oh no, they fell asleep.
She might
Ah,
be muted.
crap! I
Yeah.
was muted. Give me 1 second. Crap. And I just realized I put information in the wrong spot, but I'll fix that in a bit. Because a lot of the information that I should have put on under regular notes instead ended up in the city descriptions of my note tabs. 1 second. I need to do an actual roll on this. 1 second. So I need to grab this and look at this. Look at this sheet. Somebody give 2 people roll me 1d100, if you will. Be so kind.
Sure, why not? I'll be a part of destruction.
Don't mind my broken English. I don't know what the fuck I just typed.
So, the drow, the drow looks at you, Phaedra, and says, "They were about your size." It's kind of like narrows eyes at you. It wasn't you, was it? I didn't hear her too well. It was just she sounded very light and all that, but I think your general size.
To Phaedra?
Yes, to Phaedra.
Okay. So dwarf size, shorter. Okay.
It's like, and the other people at the table say, yeah, and the guy that was definitely a Tabaxi.
Did you, by chance,
Furry hands.
you saw they gave you the flower, or you saw them
She gave
here?
me the flower. Yeah, she was right outside, in
Have
a
you
white robe.
Have you seen them anywhere else?
Well, they had hoods up. I couldn't really give you much of a description. There's other dwarves in town in Duragar who are the same size, and I'm pretty sure
No,
there's
but
a
I
dwarf
would
in another Duragar.
I would imagine a white hooded figure would stand out in a crowd of such color.
They kind of like look blankly at you. It's like, well, some people do wear white robes. It's not like it's against the law or that unusual, but robes with hoods, that's a little bit odd. There's other head and another one at the table pipes up. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of other head bindings, like head scarves, but most people don't wear hoods. I mean, if it gets sandy out, the sand just blows back into the hoods and sand gets everywhere. And they kind of all go into agreement on that, having a debate at the moment about like scarves and hoods and whatnot.
All right, all right, all right. Hmm.
I mean,
Vondel
maybe
currently sees the two goblins that had carried off the hobgoblin exit the house and head off down the street.
are there multiple taverns in this area? Maybe they're making the rounds. Perhaps we should
Yeah,
check them
I
out.
followed the goblins. Found a new target to follow.
Doing what he does best, stalking people.
Don't mind Bundle doing some detective work.
Detective work.
Uh-huh. That's what he's gonna say, at least.
Give me 1 second, just making sure that I get the notes properly written down. So yeah, you're following that. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, I proposed the fact that they might be making the rounds. If there's other taverns in the area, we might catch them in another one, but I don't know what
Will
this area is
is
like.
going to explain to the people around the table what happened to them.
Yeah, that's kind of where Fader was leaning to.
Infection?
Before
Not
they
a,
left.
not what?
Did you explain to them that they were infected? Is that what you said?
Yes, exactly. He's not going to go into detail, but he's going to basically go like those people in the white robes handing out flowers. Basically mind controlled or infected you. Like, don't let them shake your hand again.
And the only reason why you're able to I guess, I'm sorry for the headache and everything, but
They kind of look at each other. It's like mind control. That's not good. We should probably report this to the Skull Guard. Skull Guard.
I'm not gonna get involved in all of that yet, but at least spread it around people to stay away from them.
Like they start
And
nodding. One of them just downs the water in front.
and anything, if you hear anything of the Church of the Union, just run the other way. Don't associate with them.
Are they Church of the Union?
We don't know yet.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Do you know anything about the Church of the Union?
Well, there's rumors. I mean, they're the people to the south. They're usually insular, but there's been rumors. One of the males say that they've been arriving in town lately, trying to head up north, and the Skull Guard recently has like denied any permits to let them pass.
I guess any idea where they might be in town if they're here? Like, I know.
Yeah, where do outsiders go?
They kind of like shrug, and one of them says, "An inn." Kind of like confused snark on that one.
Well, kind of just looks at him, looks at that person like, right. Thanks for the info, peasant.
You've lived here for a while, right? Fader
All
will
my
ask.
life, the one you're talking to says.
Is there any sort of like library or university or gods that are knowledge or scribe based? Any buildings like that in the city other than this bookstore? I'm assuming that.
There's some
Else-
bookstores around, and one of them says, "Well, I've been to several of the bookstores in town. My favorite is probably the Owl's Nook, just because it's you know, it's really cool to see an actual tree. I mean, nobody really. I mean, there's the trees in town, but I mean, those aren't. those are nothing compared to the tree at the Owl's Nook. That's you don't see anything like that outside of the Great Woods, and outsiders are forbidden there.
Phaedra cocks an eyebrow and looks over at Will and kind of makes a little, interesting. All right. But, okay, so just the bookstores.
Well, I've never been to the higher education centers, but I imagine there is one, but you'd have to talk to somebody. Well, it's not like I really have the money for that.
No, but I would imagine you might know where it is living here your whole life.
No, ma'am. I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay,
Just
fair enough.
I mean, I can name where I like to go, and
No, you're fine. No. No, you're fine. I just was asking. No offense.
Another one. The dry woman kind of sighs and looks at you and says, you might want to discuss that with the richer section of town. I mean, yeah, we're not restrained by caste or anything like that in Kandala, but that doesn't mean that people without means can't can go everywhere they want to.
That is fair. I apologize for assuming. I just, yeah.
Yeah, Vundel sees the goblins making their way through the streets and finally ending up at the market, at the grand market that you guys were at.
Okay. Still gonna keep an eye on them, unless I can see people in white robes that were described. If I overheard it.
Roll perception check.
Come on, Vondel.
Perception. I have nothing in it.
Not bad.
You don't know if they're the ones described, but you do see in the distance away from the goblins somebody walking through one of the streets at the edge of the market in white robes. But it's not like they are rare to impossible finds. But it does catch your eye.
You know what? Let's switch targets to them.
All right. Does anyone inside the tavern have anything else they wish to do for this session before we finish up?
No.
I'm good.
And Shor's just been keeping an eye. Basically, that's all she's been doing.
I mean, these guys know what the brothel is, right?
Oh yeah, they can give you directions to a brothel.
Not that we're going there, but it's always helpful.
I mean, it's
I mean,
not,
if I had a disease that spread on contact, I'd be
Yeah.
doling it out at a brothel.
That's a good point.
I mean,
the
I'm
worst part
fine.
is you're
I'm
not
immune
entirely
to
wrong.
disease.
No, you're not.
Anyone else? Or is this gonna be it for this tavern?
Yeah,
And
no.
that's it. Yeah.
Phaedra would just tell him to be safe. Stay safe. And,
Thank you.
yep, that's it.
Everything's fine.
All right, and I think that's it for today.